toys, 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 manly toys, 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 toys,
and TV and movies too.
Awesome. Welcome to the Toy Team, Toy Duo Team, anyways, everybody. And we're here Saturday. It's noon. This is our regular time. This is where we try to hit it. I think we did one that was off time because we were trying to get ramen toys in here, so we're a little bit early. We'll see what's going on today, but we're going to be doing a best and worst of 2023. We're going to be doing
that's worst. That's worst. Yeah, why'd you put worst? You had worst on top. You had worst and best. My mouth is happy. I'm eating Twizzlers.
All right, we're going to do some toy reveals, the hot or not section, but what we're going to do is a little bit differently. None of the new stuff. We're going to be talking about some stuff that came out during the year that we've already talked about and kind of see how we feel about that stuff now. And then we're also going to talk about some of these crowdfunding campaigns that came out during the year and just see if we even remember some of them, because some of them didn't cut the mustard. But anyways, welcome to the show. We got, let's see, hold on, let me get rid of this banner because I can't see what name John has put this week.
I put the best figure.
No, John. Okay.
The best action figure.
And then Left Coast Rick, number 2024 year of Hammerhead.
Yeah, that's the what the cool kids call it, is the number sign.
Right. Anyways, we want to welcome everybody who's joined us for the show. Let's see. We got Yak Bat in here. He says, finally make it to number 1 on time, only to remember I'm on the East Coast. So he was probably in there at 9 a.m. waiting for us to join.
East Coasters.
We got the Left Coast Graphics, a.k.a. Heroes and Villains.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then we got Super Awesome Geek Show. That's Snow John down there. He always jumps in the comments. Mr. B is saying hello to everybody. We got Sunny Sundries waking up early saying ahoy, fellas. I don't spell ahoy that way, but is that how they actually spell it down under?
What the hell no. No one knows.
I don't think you write it down.
You say it. You don't. Yeah, it's one of those words you don't ever spell.
Mr. B saw an inarticulate one at Michael's and it looks awesome.
Crocodile.
Okay, crocodile. Yeah. Okay. Edmonton Stormtrooper has joined us, saying hello there. And yes, Mr. B. Let's see. No worries. I was just curious because it's the last crocodile, and I don't want to miss if the GI Joe one is. Yeah. I probably read that wrong because he said meh, and I said eh. John was just about to correct me. I see it.
Well, the Joe. I'm just saying that. Do you agree that the Joe one is really nice?
Yes, I agree that the Joe one is super nice.
That's why I got that one.
Maybe he'll skip the Michaels then. Let's see. Yes, I was a little bit late hitting the start button, so sorry about that. All you folks that were waiting around, we got a lot of people saying hello. Gerard Kane is here. Let's see.
Orlando. Mod
David
Extra.
Barr,
Now I want to go to Michael's and check out these alligators.
Mod Extra Games. He's not first today. He's saying. All right. So, anyways, you can join and become a channel member if you want. On my channel, all your guys, do you guys have memberships on your channels as well?
Yep.
Super John does. He probably has memberships.
We've been doing trivia thing. Well, I haven't written any for this week. I got to get back. I have to load up the next trivia round.
Yeah, I noticed it seemed like every time I opened my YouTube app, I got like a new question to answer. And sometimes I'm like, have time, I can answer them. And sometimes I just don't have the time.
I was like, whatever. I try to have some answer that either doesn't make sense or it's a little bit funny, and I always suspect that it's you answering the funny one, the ridiculous one. Because one person always seems to answer the ridiculous one, and I'm like, you can't possibly think that was the right answer.
Well, I can't confirm or deny, but when I saw my name as one of the ansers. I had to yeah.
I've had you as an answer, and I think G-Force was an answer once too.
Have you asked which?
Look, I'm getting a message from none other than.
Is it Dino?
Yes.
Is he telling you he's about to phone John?
No. No, it's something we were talking about earlier. Let's see,
I
Dave's
think
dimension has poked his
I
head
think
in.
he might
saying,
be.
"Hello."
Dean might be at a toy store right now. I don't know.
Probably. So it's been a pretty hectic week. Everybody enjoy the holiday, the Christmas holiday. You guys buy yourselves everything you wanted.
That's exactly right. Well phrased. I had a good Christmas. Went to my buddy Sasquatch Jay. Went to his family's place for some turkey dinner. It was good time. Got to see his toys in his home, and I was blown away, man. Like
Really? Wow.
he has some cool shit. Like amongst he's a big Mythic Legions guy, so he likes all his barbarian style toys, He-Mans, but all the smalls like muscles and just little knickknacks,
Just little ones here.
Toys. Yeah, man, he's got some cool toys. It's cool to see.
Silver Scratch Built Productions has joined us.
Hello.
You guys check out his channel if you get a chance. That's pretty cool. So he had just a whole bunch of those like tiny dudes.
I saw a commercial for,
but he had them displayed like in a shadow box frame.
Yes.
So it was like they were just full of them, and there was just all these little pink dudes everywhere.
John doesn't have anything like that in his house. He barely has any toys.
John has some muscles. I've seen them.
I have 3 muscle men left.
I let him go on eBay, I think.
I had a bunch, man. They were pretty cool. Because I seem to remember they kind of came out like every few weeks or every month. Like the store would get a new assortment or a new wave. It was pretty neat.
A new trash can full of them. They I had a bunch of muscle men in the boxing ring that was for them.
Yeah, a little wrestling ring kind of thing.
Yeah, a little wrestling ring. But that was something I left when I moved to Seattle. I left it at the farmhouse, and it was like I left them and robotics and a bunch of other. There was a bunch of stuff that I just kind of left there, and then the barn collapsed in one winter. So everything got like totally destroyed that was saved in the barn.
You don't think plastic action figures could have withstood the falling of like?
Okay, well, listen.
Sure.
He just threw everything away. All right, because he was like, it all got ruined.
It didn't actually get destroyed in the barn fall. It just got like dug up. So it's in a pit somewhere. It's in a landfill.
Yeah,
well, do you know the longitude and latitude
cartridges?
Yeah.
We need a map, John. We need a map and a couple of shovels. Let's go find
GPS that stuff.
Yeah, look at this. Look at all these more biker scouts that are showing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So I do know there are some action figures buried in a concrete pond that my dad built in the house we lived in Northern California, because when my mom was filling it in, she was just grabbing stuff out of the garage and dumping it in there to like take
filler.
That's filler? What the heck? Wow.
And like I didn't see what was going in there, but I noticed a whole bunch of stuff missing like in the following week. So I knew it was down there, and I'm like thinking, okay, well, this is like a time capsule. One day I'll go in there and I'll dig it all up. I never did it.
Mom, where's my bike?
Yeah, it's been sold now. So.
Where's my jacket?
Where's my little sister?
Yeah. All right, we got Rhino Hobbies has joined us also. Let's okay, so anyways, this was the thumbnail. We are going to do like I said, we're going to do a best action figures of 2023, worst action figure of 2023, in our opinions, of course. We're going to do some other stuff, but let's go down memory lane of 2023, shall we?
A new Yoda item.
You have photographic evidence, right? Okay, good.
All right.
So I thought it was really interesting. So I do have this graphic of the GIJOE Classified Series Dragonfly HasLab. I think, was this the one that launched off their myriad of positive or fully funded HasLabs for the year? 4 of them, right? Yeah.
I think I put this as one of my most anticipated for next year, right? So,
is it? I probably didn't read that far down in your email. Sorry. But sorry. Just
the first sentence.
So I know John backed this. Rick?
Yeah, absolutely.
I did not back any Joe
HasLabs or anything this year.
But so get the snowmobile. I don't think they need to HasLab that, but I want that.
So it's very interesting because I was like in my mind confused because when that piss tank arrived, I was like, where are the figures that came with this thing? I wanted the figures for this one already. I was like already.
Oh, for this guy. Yeah.
I got them confused a little bit. But anyway, so Hasbro had 4 successful HasLabs. We had the Dragonfly in the summer. They had the Ghost right at Comic-Con, launched at Comic-Con and fully funded, what, in like a day?
Yeah.
And John was 100% on this one as well.
No, well, I do want it, but no, I didn't end up buying it.
Okay, Rick
were all the tiers back for the Dragonfly?
I believe
think so.
they were.
Yeah.
And they were all back for the tiers for the His Tank were reached as well, right?
Yes.
So they've had good success with the Joes.
With the Joes,
maybe the most.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Ghostbusters is probably up there too, but that's pretty good for. I think they know they can every year they can put 1 or 1.5 or 2 GI Joe HasLabs out there, and
yes, I think right now was the perfect time for them. I think if they try to do that Engine of Vengeance greediness, I think they're not going to make it.
No, the Marvel Legends, man, I've done a lot of Marvel Legends though, and that's the only Marvel Legends one that didn't succeed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, it's because it was overpriced, and it just wasn't, I think, iconic enough.
And every Marvel Legends just been a jumbo figure, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, because then the next one here is Giant Man, which is another jumbo figure, but not as jumbo as the other ones.
Yeah.
But he ended up passing in the end, didn't he? Pass right at the last minute.
This one's fully funded. It really just skyrocketed at the end there.
Right at the last minute, yeah.
So these were.
See, the only reason I didn't get the Ghost is because I didn't have the money at the time. So it's just kind of. But I would have.
Well, the thing is, so would you have rather had it go like maybe them launch the Giant Man at Comic-Con and then there would have been a spacer for the Ghost? Then would you have been able to pick that up? You think?
Probably because
you just came off the Dragonfly. It was a week, and then it was like
yeah. Because the Dragonfly, it was like when I have to choose, I had that when I was a kid, the original, and I love that helicopter. So if they're making a crazy cool modern 6-inch version, it's like that was the thing I just had to have.
Right.
Even though I would say like the number one thing in my collection is Star Wars, so you would think I'd have to choose Star Wars over GI Joe, but that was just such a favorite vehicle as a kid. I couldn't pass it up, So,
yeah, this one was a hard to pass up, especially if you're collecting Joes.
You both backed the helicopter, right?
What? Yes. Yeah, this one was hard. I didn't even consider this one at all.
No.
I definitely would have got it if I had the money, but I didn't.
It hits no nostalgia points for me because I didn't watch any of the animated stuff at all. The only time I think I ever saw the ship was in that Ahsoka TV show, and by that point it was like, I mean, I'm not that ingrained in those characters, to be, honest.
It would be cool with the retro figures, but it's my least favorite Star Wars property, so it would be a huge investment for something I really don't have a lot of love for. I enjoyed it, but I mean, definitely not a priority for collecting.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like if it was, I mean, they don't need to do the Millennium Falcon because they already released that at like a retail multiple times, right?
And I don't think they could really top that Falcon too much. Like if you don't have it, and you know what I'm talking about, the BAF Falcon or whatever, it's badass and it's huge. It's too big, not too big, but like this. If this is anything like that Falcon, like be prepared for like a 4-foot footprint in your home, unless you can hang it off the ceiling or something somehow, because the Falcon's pretty big. I can't display it.
All right, Paul's giving you an option here. He says
I know
it's the figures, so write that down, make a note. If this was the Imperial shuttle, I think we'd be having a completely different conversation, right? For me, anyways.
Yeah, but I don't think they would do the Imperial shuttle because it has been released several times, basically using the original vintage, tooling kind of style.
Yeah.
But it'd also be hard to beat. It's pretty badass. They would never do it in 6-inch scale. It would be just be like a van,
A van.
like a life-size van. Like it would be.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. It would have to be like out of scale, basically.
Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead.
What's the biggest thing that's been made or attempted to be made? It was something by Super 7, wasn't it? Like, would it be the Cat Slayer or?
That is pretty big, yeah. But
I know Motu.
Is that bigger than the Cell Bar?
Motu Classics, Gray Skull, and Snake Mountain are pretty huge, but I think that Super 7, the playset, I don't know if that even funded or not, but I mean, I think that was one of the bigger freaking things.
Okay.
So we need to see if that's a direction Hasbro might go big or go home,
right?
like
a
flag,
like a 1-to-1 scale Boba Fett starship for cosplay.
1-to-1 scale.
Right.
Yeah, you can build that from Agostini magazine, 300,000 issues, and you build yourself a life-size Wave 1.
All right, so the final HasLab that they rounded out was fully successful, and Eric's I think the only one that got it. That was the
I mean Dave at Dave's Dimension ordered this, didn't he?
Okay, well Dave, yeah. I mean, the guys that are regularly on the show, yeah.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I know quite a few people that went on this. Damn Ryan got this too.
Yeah.
So Dino is going to Full Moon Toys and Collectibles. He wanted to get that in because that's his sponsor.
he's gonna go. He's gonna go. I've been talking to Val all day about getting this GI Joe collection they have. And he's going to go in there and be like, "Don't give John a deal. Make him pay twice retail." He's just
really listening. He should get me some of those posters in those little wax paper poster things. The folding
the
one.
giant cards there.
Yeah, and he could send those to me. I don't know why he's not, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He ran out of envelopes.
By the way, I got a package from Vern the other day. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah,
Vern Lab Enterprises.
What?
Yeah.
Vern Lab Enterprises.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. What about this Cobra mothership here?
But
recent. This is a crash and burn, right?
Yeah.
I think it was just priced way too high, and I think maybe if they would have announced that O-ring deal sooner, right?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask. So does that change any of you guys mind? Like, I know Rick and John more, so you guys are more 3.75 collectors. Does that steer you away from classifieds to maybe go get the cartoon version O-rings in 3.75?
Well, I have to wait. I actually have to wait to see how much they put each figure at, because these 5 POA ones that they do
same price.
Are awesome. I like the way they look. They're awesome. They've done some characters that were in the cartoon that never got released as an O-ring GI Joe. Yeah. But I don't like how they're basically $20 each.
So I think I've seen them say they won't be the same price.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that they'll probably stay at $19.99.
So here's what's going to happen is, even though they're O-ring, the only ones that I buy of these GI Joe are when they go on sale for $12, $10, $7. You know what I mean? Like, if they're under, when they go under $14.99, under that $15 mark, I consider them. When they get more towards 12 and 10, I can't pass them up. I buy them.
Right. I totally understand, but what he's saying is, like, so the O-ring figures, John, do you think that they in your mind they're just as valuable as a classified?
Like,
no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to pay $20 for a 3-inch figure. No.
Okay.
But every single one that I see marked down, I will buy.
Yeah, no, because I've seen. So that I asked because I've seen some people that are in classified collecting now. Once this was announced, and this was announced as being straight cartoon, like
Yes.
they're doing blonde cover girl. They're doing, you know, like
Yeah.
I have a friend that is out of classified. He's only going to go these O-rings from now.
yeah,
on.
I've seen quite a few people say, "Well, I'm done with classifieds, then I no longer have to collect them." So that's why I was wondering, because I know
No,
both.
I would get both. Even if I made the decision to spend $20 on an O-ring figure, I would keep going with classified because they're so freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's what Hasbro is betting on, that their classified series still goes strong with more HasLabs. And now that they've, you know, sold some licensing rights to Super 7, which they already had licensing rights, but a new
now they ship the whole line pretty much over there, yeah.
Of O-ring style figures that are going to be the, you know, the cartoony comic book based. So John, here's a question for you as a Big Joe guy and 375 collector as well. What if they're like, okay, here's a hooded Cobra Commander O-ring style based on, you know, a bunch of cartoon appearances and stuff, 1899, you know, what if they made that characters like that?
No, I mean, I've got the originals, so I don't need them.
He's saying
they don't have original animated versions of any of these characters.
I guess you're technically right. Yeah, they're not in the animated colors and that style. But I just can't bring myself to pay that much money for a 3-inch figure. I think they should be $15 is what I think.
I agree with you. I agree with you. So then we saw NECA, right? This is NECA. I kept thinking it was Super 7. I was looking for a picture of it, and I was like, where's this Super 7 thing? But this is NECA. So we had this NECA $5 million sewer diorama pop up, right? How much was this thing?
It was,
I don't know. It's pretty big, though.
$500. And like, so that's I love the way this looks. Have you seen pictures of people with this and like them displaying it with the building?
I saw Pixel Dan do a review on it, and it's like took up a big footprint again. Like it's
awesome though, and like looks great. It's just the top piece is foam core for the street, which a lot of people had issue with. So like
I think that top foam board thing I saw is a third party seller that made it just so people could put their other playset on top of it, because it's not a good idea. Like it doesn't attach; it's just a piece of paper.
I thought though it was included with this because that's what Pixel Dan was saying.
If that's a really stupid idea. It's just paper.
So I saw that they have a new playset that they're announcing. Is it also going to come with the diorama, or is it just to go into the existing diorama that they've already sold?
They're doing the 2 side pieces for this. So you're going to get Donatello's lab, and then you're going to get the training area. I guess that's
the training room. Yeah.
So what's more? They already have accessory packs that go directly to this. Like,
okay,
I think it comes with that couch and that chair and whatever you see there. But there's other little furniture pieces and maybe like, you know,
with the Toon Turtles accessory pack that they did. That comes.
They make accessory pack direct for these play sets, which I think is brilliant as well. Like it's a.
And then they did the portal for Donnie's lab already. Like you could buy that now. Some people have it displayed already. Right. So they're like, it's gonna be cool, and especially like they look awesome with the building on top of them. To me, the price still doesn't warrant like what it is. Like
the price point was a little bit high. I agree.
Yeah, like I would have been in this if it was like $200. I might have picked one up. But
props for the ramen toy doing, you know, the level or whatever I don't know what he calls it because it's a code name. For you know, I'm assuming a cheaper price, $200 or less, if I remember correctly.
Well, each piece is $89 according to here we go.
The Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, so that diorama I think was a key point in the year, because then it kind of started bringing attention to companies like this that are going to be doing a different type of a setup. And of course, it also
which is awesome. Like, by the way, like this setup is cool, and the fact that you can multi-build it is
this is 3D printed, right, Rick?
No, this is a couple of pieces of wood, and some of the accessory parts are not 3D printed. They're just resin copies of like an actual Black Series helmet or you know, a part from something. But yeah, my buddy Neil, local here in BC, made these, and he sells them at toy shows and stuff. Cool. And that's the kind of stuff. Like I love the diorama idea.
That's
Right.
all behind me. Yeah, all the Star Wars dials and stuff.
So then
I
the
love it.
cat slayer that if you were smart would have did the 4 payments of 58.87 to get. I threw that in there for John.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just reminding everybody of these things. Nobody here was interested in this, right?
No, but it made its first goal, and this thing sold, right? It's going to be
Yes,
shipped
yeah.
to people. Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
think it's the champion among, whatever you call it, back crowdfunding toys for
Yeah.
price. I don't think there's been anything this
I almost feel
expensive
like
as a
This is
crowdfund.
giant too. Like this was a whole mountain like for in
Yeah.
the display. Like
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
opened up, that's
Oh yeah,
it's pretty
huge.
amazing. Yeah.
Like
I
I was saying in the beginning, maybe the biggest attempt yet at a toy.
Well, how
Yeah.
big was that? How big was that Eternia one with the tracks and everything? Wasn't
Oh, that was
It's
gigantic.
big, but it's
Yeah,
because
wasn't it
it's
huge?
got a track.
yeah.
If you take away the track, it's like a Castle Grayskull size piece. I believe. I've never seen one.
But it had like side pieces too. So it
Yeah,
was
I just
like-
thought that thing was massive, but I don't know. Yeah,
All right.
takes-
What about does anybody remember this?
the
Brass,
Nitro ring, the Nitro.
You
ring?
remember when they
This-
were gonna
this
launch
is-
this thing?
So this would have been really cool. Like it would have been really really cool.
Especially if all those lights worked, right?
They
All those
did,
lights
they did.
actually lit up, right?
They
Yeah.
had it at Comic-Con.
the
Yeah.
the price wasn't even bad either. It was more so the time that they dropped this. Like they dropped it at a really bad time, and the lineup for the stretch goals was off. Like if they would have swapped around the figures, I think this would have sold a lot more. And like WCW is a more niche thing than WWE or classic WWE. So like that's the tough sell. Is like, do you have enough people that grew up in the '90s that want this set? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Well, I think
You
that's the
know,
only
you-
reason they made it because it was going to
Yeah.
be.
I wanted to be a
branded.
smart aleck right now, a yak bat saying, I really wish I had known about this Nitro ring. And
well,
I
the
was
ring
gonna
is
say-
the ring.
and I was gonna say, if you just watch the Toy Duo every weekend,
Well, the ring though you can buy. The ring comes with Eric Bischoff, and they that's actually released, and you can buy the Nitro ring. But unfortunately, this didn't back, so you don't have this playset to go with the ring. So like,
Yeah.
yeah.
they have
Well, the
plenty
other,
so
this year they're doing the Raw versus Nitro like wave, so it's going to be a full line of figures basically from this era, and so like they had all this
Well-
in plan with this coming out, and then this didn't back, so they still have all this stuff coming out, but it's just a bad.
well, the other
bad-
thing I was wondering is, don't you think that stuff like this, because a lot of this is sort of like the standard stadium setup that you have at any show in America, and
yeah.
it would be the same setup if you went to a live show.
Yeah.
You could almost see a similar setup, if not the same, for WWE, or do you know what I mean? Like,
it just
so
takes,
shouldn't they?
Yeah, it all goes.
So
in the
shouldn't
truck.
they-
It all fits in a
Shouldn't they have
semi-trailer.
had like? What I'm getting at is, shouldn't they have made multiple plaques for this? Like instead of
Well-
just doing WCW Monday Nitro, shouldn't they have a thing where you can take those pieces off
Yes.
and put up WWE or something? You know,
Just
or
imagine-
So they
you know what I
did
mean? Or
the
It
last
might
the
have
last
been
one
a tier
the
if
last-
they did something similar with one of the rings.
I was just about to say the last
Or
one
the-
they did was the Superstars
banners.
entrance. So like
Look,
the
you
Superstars entrance.
You
is-
could double this
that
with
era.
your Kiss action figures.
Absolutely.
yeah,
you can.
that
That's-
too. Yeah, that
Right.
too. You know,
No, it's
Yeah.
it's totally true because
it could be a rock playset. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it would have
guess
been cool if they included like a 6-inch scale semi trailer that this all goes in the back of, and a roadie action figure like a
Oh, what about a 1-to-1
guy.
scale semi truck
there
1-to-1
you go.
scale.
Yeah.
where you can put hundreds of them in there?
they just overshot this, and I think the stretch goal was way too high for what it was. And it did come with other aprons and other things, but it was all WCW. It wasn't anything else because this is obviously the WCW entrance.
And then
Yeah,
we
and I
got
think
this-
100% they're
this
never
one-
allowed to do WWF old school logos.
No,
on
they
any-
can't do that because of the
Well,
they
wildlife.
fake it.
They not the
Very
old WWF. They used the old vintage logo. That's WWE. Yeah, because they did that.
Well, there
with the
isn't
last
an old
one.
vintage logo that's WW. That's the thing.
Yeah,
they,
there is. They
cheated.
redid.
They
Well,
make
they-
it look like the old
Yeah,
logo,
yeah.
but they take away the E,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is
But-
cool. Like they made it's the way to do it, and I get it. As a logo guy, I think it's pretty kind of cool.
They should have done this set as just the Jurassic Park doors and sold it for like $50.
It was a sale too, right?
100% should have been retail because I think everything else is practically in the store, right?
It is,
Yeah.
You could buy the car, you could buy the figures, you could buy a
You can buy
dinosaur.
the fencing and
The
everything.
I have a
figures,
prediction
there's-
that it will become a retail toy.
There's actually a set out right now where you get the car, the figures, and the T-Rex. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you
And you can get the
the only
doors
thing,
printed.
yeah, you can, yeah.
I think they'll make the doors at retail with those lights and whatever. It'll be a couple $100 or something.
Right.
It's very doable, and it'll fit in a small box like Lego. Like you can build that
Especially
out of
if
Lego for probably a couple $100
there
worth of
is a Lego,
right?
there is a Lego set of this exactly.
No, but
But
I
it
mean,
would be
at this scale. Like I mean,
especially
the
if it,
amount of plastic materials needed to make just that gate
Yeah.
is not more than like a Gray Skull or a Snake Mountain or
No,
Yeah.
and
know.
this was way overpriced.
Sky Striker or something.
Yeah.
It was, especially considering, like you said, most of this stuff was already released. So it's like you're buying doubles of everything just to
I
get
think
the door.
Yeah.
they just painted it different, or I think the car
Yeah,
was
the
more
T-Rex
realistic.
is painted different, yeah.
It was a big
But
leap.
it would have been it also would be cool though is if when you open those doors, if you hear Malcolm say, "What do they got behind your King Kong?"
But
So-
yeah, I predict it will come out.
All right. So what I did with this section, I just wanted to say, like, you know, I think having these crowdfunding things were kind of interesting because it brought us to the attention of like places like Ramen, who did their own engine of engines basically with the Ramen Racer. They had their own diorama setup, which is going to be, you know, multifunctional. You can get a cartoon look, a standard look. So they're
And you
making,
I like the fact that you can purchase each. So like
yes,
this whole piece is $300 for the two sword dioramas and the two street dioramas. You can buy each one of these individual things for $89 a piece. So in reality, I mean, if you just want a sword dial for your turtles, $89. You can't beat that. Like that's a really, I'm really excited to see this once it actually hits.
I am too.
agree.
And that roof is not made of foam board.
No,
Right.
no, that's all
So that's
plastic. too.
That's
So
a
yeah,
huge selling
Well,
point.
there was some sagging in it, if you notice, because of the plastic has like all those like it's like grooved underneath for attaching stuff to it. So I think I messaged them and I just said I think a couple of like thin metal bars that go across,
or
No,
even
it's
if you
just
added
because they were
pipe
3D
like-
printed prototypes.
like NECA, you know, like even if you did like the piping underneath, that would give you some position, you know,
well, he
some
wants that piping to be movable, right? So I was
Yeah.
thinking like some thin rods that you put down maybe first, and then they just set on top of the rods would just give a little strength, even if it was across the front.
Metal's
Um,
expensive.
And
no,
then
this is awesome. I love the fact that too you can use it for anything. Like it works with Legends, it works with GI Joe, it works with Turtles, and you got the Toon and the regular versions to go with. Like, plus it works with this. Like,
and then
Well,
of course, Rick's
Vehicle of the
favorite
year next
vehicle,
year.
the van, right? Like all this stuff will be coming out next year. But I mean, like, I think this is almost like, did the Engine of Vengeance really kickstart a whole like 1/12 vehicle scene,
For
right?
sure.
Like,
I
was
think
that
so.
the launch of like
For wheeled vehicles, for sure. Like space vehicles, we know Hasbro has been trying it for years. But
yeah, 'cause-
Super 7 tried a flying vehicle. Like, you know, it's so vehicles are, for whatever reason, the first thing that these HasLabs or crowdfunds are going towards. I would like to see more of the playset type diorama, like
Yeah.
that would just
Yeah.
that would
the
shown
6-inch,
from
not
all the lines.
Well,
Like,
let me
why
ask
is
you-
there a
yeah.
GI Joe style diorama?
Great.
Why the number one of all of them? Why have Hasbro not produced any type of Star Wars diorama type thing
Yeah.
for the 6-inch scale, which is one of their premier toy lines right now? I guess like
Uh-huh.
they have
Yeah.
lots of stuff that they make, but definitely the
They've
6-inch
barely
Star
done
Wars is
anything.
a
Okay,
main-
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Rhino Hobbies needs the van so his figures can live down by the river. So now I'm just envisioning somebody's going to get that van, then they're going to do a whole like conversion in the back with like the little kitchenette, like the thing, you know, how people do the
Yeah,
tiny
when you need a
van.
Chris
And
Farley
they'll,
action
they'll
figure.
get a Chris Farley action figure. Yep.
Oh,
That's
That
awesome.
river over there.
No, I think Rick's right though. Like I say it all the time. Like I love the 3D printing community and the fact that I can make this
Yeah.
stuff at home and like have it. But if Hasbro was doing it, I would be buying it. You know what I mean? It's that's
And
the
I'm
problem.
surprised
Well,
Hasbro
you
doesn't
see-
do it kind of for that reason. They're missing out. Like if
But I
some
wonder-
Joe Blow 3D printer sells a file or
Even
gives away a
so, like
file,
my prime example is the
Hasbro's
Job
not
of the
making
Hut
money
that
off
just came out. The Job of the Hut that just came out. How simple would it have been? We paid what, $89 for that Jabba? How simple would it have been for another 10, 15 bucks to throw in the dais, a one piece of plastic that he can sit on? Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a no-brainer. Like, come
something
on,
that
like
I've
how
wondered about, and it's
how
been
much-
so many years that because I originally thought they were going to release that Dios somehow as a separate toy you can buy, but maybe it didn't come with a Jabba. Maybe it came with like slave or it came with a figure.
yeah.
But to
The Morning
pay
Guard,
you
whatever.
$100 or not a HasLab type thing, but maybe it's
Yeah,
weird. I
that-
don't understand why. One of my
it's
predictions
baffling.
too, if we talk about predictions later, is something that Hasbro I think will do with that Cantina playset again. But what I'm surprised at is why they waited this many years. Why they didn't do it just the year following.
I honestly don't.
Cantina with Hammerhead and etc. Like
I don't think they're going to touch Black Series for HasLab ever again. Honestly, I think it's just going to be straight TVC HasLabs, and we're not going to see shit for Black Series. Honestly,
Yeah. I think with the 3D printing, what you were talking about with Hasbro, I don't know. Like, see, I question whether or not if Hasbro and stuff were doing it, if you would be buying those rather than buying from these like 3D printers, because I think
it
other
was
stuff would be like
price-
injection molding or something like that, right? Like plastic. And
people will still buy both, and people will still
yeah,
make
I
their own
think it would still
dioramas.
be like, because there would still be feelings like this is 3D printed. I did it myself, right? Like I don't know what this would be worth to somebody or whatever, but it's
But
nice.
you
to
could have also made that from popsicle sticks, like
I could, yeah. And this is purchased. This
I
was
got a
like,
couple of those.
yeah, this is like just a case. I think Star Wars or something, right? Yeah,
It came
Star
with
Wars.
sand and like
Yes, that's what it
Marine
was. It
Guard
was like
skull.
bones.
They're
And then
actually really cool.
these right here came from Daiso, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
And they're kind of cool. And the thing is, the other day when I was in Ross, I noticed that there was some Harry Potter candy or whatever it was, and they were like these little barrels.
Okay.
And they were made out of metal, whatever, and they had like that. It had like a wrap around it or something to
looked
make
like
it
a
look
wood
good.
finish. Yeah,
But they were the perfect size. But the problem is somebody had already taken all the stuff out, and there's no way I was spending $3.99 just for the little metal barrel, right? That somebody had already pilfered the stuff from. But there's so many opportunities. I walk down the toy aisles, the candy aisles, and I look for candy that's packaged in something that can be used, next to your figures.
you can even use a lot of doll's house scale stuff, like 1/12 dollhouse scale stuff. Like
some of the stuff scales well.
yeah, there's a lot of that
Drink
stuff on
and
Amazon
stuff
too.
like that. A lot of people use that for like photo photography, but that's the biggest problem because like that's why I got into customizing and doing the 3D buying 3D printed stuff because like I have the here let me take my camera and I can show you.
I
So-
am very much interested in 3D printing stuff. I would be.
Can you
Hold
guys
on,
see
let
that
me get a
okay?
big screen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's the Emperor's throne room 3D printed. And like, he sits up there on his throne and got
Why
to
is
hold
the
it.
Emperor shooting his lasers at Darth Vader?
He's shooting his lightning because that's what happens in Return of the Jedi.
Vader?
At Vader, yeah, he shocks Vader. Vader, he shoots the lightning at Luke and Vader
Not in
picks
the
it
middle
up.
of a lightsaber battle.
Spoiler
Well,
alert.
yeah, but I just displayed it that way. It's like
Yeah.
do
What's
whatever.
Grand Moff Tarkin doing up
He
there?
can do what he wants.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So here's Maul on the Mandalorian throne.
I like the maple leaves on the side. Those are awesome.
Yeah, cool.
And that's all 3D printed. All this wall for the Inquisitor is 3D printed. All the Imperial walls and doors.
Rest in peace, Space Walls.
The Rebels mural is 3D printed.
Yeah, that's a good setup there. I like that for such a crappy
And then
content.
I got that. And then this is not 3D printed. This is made, and Byrne has 2 of the trees as well.
Yeah,
that
they
I
look
sent.
great too.
Is that real
yeah.
wood?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, What? It
I
looks
made
so real.
I made them. They came out really good. I liked them a lot. And then this is the Ahsoka one with the pillars that are 3D printed.
Cool.
And then
Cool.
I did the backdrop and stuff. And then here the Mando cabin is like my biggest 3D printed piece.
Oh, that's
and
cool
like
too.
it's the whole cabin, from the end of the last season. So
So let's put it in the 2 years, how much American dollars have you spent on buying 3D printed stuff? Like a couple $100, $400
probably
bucks.
a couple $100, yeah. And some of the stuff I made myself. So like some of it's like some of the backdrops and stuff are made, and then some of the other play sets are like cardboard from Extreme Sets. So
Have you thought about getting a 3D printer yourself? Because with
Yeah, I
these
have to get a
Bamboo
computer,
printers,
though.
the quality and the speed of the prints is
Let me ask you a question. Do you think
phenomenal
you
now.
spent more than the cost of a printer?
Oh yeah, definitely. I
a
need
couple of years ago they
I
cost
need
a
a
little
computer
more,
first.
but
I
yeah,
need a computer first. That's what I got to get first, and then I can get a printer.
I'm impressed, man.
Oh yeah, you need a
I
computer.
can't imagine what we're going to be able to
out on
3D
that
print in
card.
5 years. Like I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah, and like the resin printing is insane. Like the custom
Yeah.
head stuff. I was talking about that with Stu on his show the other day, and I was saying like it's crazy to me how somebody like can take a sculpt and make a better sculpt than somebody who's mass producing it. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
some of
Yeah.
these likenesses are better than like even with the Shin head, like there's a better Shin head than the one Hasbro produced like for their figure, you know what I mean? And more detail, more everything.
That figure just showed up for me too, and I was like, yeah. The only thing that is weird is the head is a little off,
So did you get the orange blade or did you get the red blade?
Oh, it's right here. Let's see what I got.
Because they made a running, just in case anybody's not aware, they made a running change on Balin and Shin to where there's versions with the red blade and there's versions with the proper orange blade.
Well, they did that with that dark ray too. There were two different saber.
Oh,
versions.
Gosh, I can't tell without looking at them side by side.
I think it's all the same. Like it's just
John can't
it was
tell.
made a different day of the
Well,
week.
I mean, like, do you think that's red or orange?
Red. Red.
You got red, yeah.
It's
Red.
red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would take it back if I were you.
So I would keep that. I would keep that in package then, John, because the red ones are probably going to be the more. I would hold on to the red
That's
one.
not going to make any difference with people.
No modern toys.
I think it will. I think it will because
no.
that's a running change in the toy line. Like that's a variant technically.
But I do really like the outfit and everything. I think it's a great looking figure, but the head is a little off. You're right.
I have on
I
my
just saw that
channel-
wave this week, and I'm a little disappointed just because none of them have any cool soft goods.
I had.
Yeah.
I just don't think soft goods are that much of a cost personally.
why
I don't
not?
know.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about the cost of like that compared to a plastic injection, but I know you have to make a mold for those plastic capes and robes and stuff that you never reuse.
I think some people got the Shin and Balin from Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just saw them yesterday in store.
I have the tutorial on my page of how to fix Shin's height, and you're gonna have to do the same thing with Balin because they're both scaled wrong.
All right, so let's do this hot or not section before we move on to the worst and best. This is not going to be like anything that was released this week. So if you were expecting to see like new figures, we're kind of going to just show a few that came out during the year and re-talk about them, I guess, a little bit, and just see where we stand now. And I'll remind you what you guys said when we first showed them off. No, I won't, because I don't have that good of a memory, but...
Come on, Vern, you don't have the tape? Cue the tape.
Do you remember when they did these Guardians of the Galaxy and they all had the same outfit? And this is the SH Figure Arts, though, I think.
Hot Toys.
Okay. Yeah, Hot Toys, it looks like.
Oh, is that what it is? But I mean, like, I think I grabbed this picture because I was also thinking about
you were thinking of that wave, that Legends wave?
Yeah, and I'm like...
They all went to clearance.
Yeah, nobody ran out and got them, right?
For me, Guardians of the Galaxy, like I love it. It's one of my favorite Marvel properties now. Even though as a comic, as a kid, it wasn't one of my favorite Marvel properties. But of all the toys, I don't care for any of the characters as toys except Groot and Rocket. Like those, just because they're different. Like they're.
So if you got Rocket, you got most of them. If you got
But I
the Legends rocket, you got most of the body for you got the body for Cosmo,
Yeah.
but no Cosmo because you needed all the other parts. I thought that
Cosmo
was
would be a cool action figure to have too. I didn't get any of these newer
And I
ones.
think that's why a lot of people picked these up when they went to clearance, because a lot of people wanted to build Cosmo. You know what I mean? But
right.
I think if you had picked up the Disney box set that came out right before this, you know what I mean? Like they put out a Disney box set with them in the matching red. So it's like, did you need the blues from just one movie, or did you want the looks from like pretty much the whole MCU? And like you can get them all in one shot with all the different versions of Groot too in that box set. So to me, that was the better buy than buying this wave. You know what I mean? Unless you really wanted Cosmo or Kraglin, or that's pretty much it.
And the reason they have new uniforms is so they can make action figures for a
Yeah.
third time, right? Like
Yeah,
they have made action figures for all these characters.
Well, do
in the
you
past.
think?
And
Do
you know
you
what?
really think that? Wait. Do you really think that Marvel, when they're making the movie and they come up with the outfits,
James
they're
Gunn?
really thinking about that they're going to have a whole new line of action figures to
Oh,
sell?
absolutely, absolutely.
No, because I think it's up to James Gunn, and
why do you think they make those changes every year to Mando? He changes one little thing so they can make a new Mando. Like, come on, that's
not true in any way, shape, or form, because
they've done it every season.
They've done it every season. Don't make anything off.
I'm not talking about James. I'm not talking about Jon Favreau and James Gunn. I'm talking about Disney as a company. Yeah, you don't think they want to sell
Disney as a company doesn't
so they're going to make slight changes to every costume. Why do you think Ahsoka had 3 different versions of a costume this season? You don't think we're going to get 3 different figures?
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to tell you.
Did it with Kenobi too.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you why I think they make costume changes every year, and it has nothing to do with action figures. It's so they can hire a costume person to work on the show or set or movie or whatever it is, because I think that is a person.
Have a costume team.
That like the costume person or whatever, the designer.
Well, it's a whole team, yeah.
Yeah, whoever. So they can hire those people to be a part of the production of a show or movie. I think it's to employ the costume designers. I think that's what it is.
They have costume designers no matter what.
Yeah, like Lucasfilm, whole
they
team.
all
Like
Shauna
just passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's why there's always changes. I think it's just to give the team stuff to do, and it's part of the production cost. I don't think it has to do with making action figures.
The thing that hurt this wave too was right before this wave came out, the Thor Love and Thunder wave was out with Rocket and Chris Pratt and one of the other ones. So I think that was another thing that interfered with this.
Just commenting on Joseph's post you just shared, but George Lucas made money off the toys himself.
That's exactly right. Back then it was something different because George
Lucas
now
makes unless you're McFarlane.
So that
Lucasfilm themselves makes money off the toys. Why do you think the license?
But he's the only one. He's the only one. Like there's him and I'm gonna say Todd McFarlane because he owns a property which is Spawn.
Do you not think Lucasfilm
he makes Spawn? He makes money off that, not only as a company owner but as the license owner of Spawn as well. So
who ever saw one of these in the store?
I wouldn't have bought one if I saw it. So I probably didn't.
Every one I saw, I bought of all the indie retros, but I did get half of them on Amazon.
I've never seen this one because after that first set,
This is an Amazon exclusive, I believe.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think so.
I didn't think Canada had exclusives, but okay.
Well, not Canada, Amazon.
Oh.
Amazon is a world.
I never saw it. As a matter of fact, I never saw anything other than that first wave in stores.
Okay.
I've seen them in the clearance aisle. That's about it. I've been waiting for them to show up in Ross or Ollie's, but not yet this wave. This line.
GameStop got them in once or twice. Like they have none right now. They may have 1 6-inch figure still kicking around. But Toys R Us currently, which I haven't been to lately, they still have a bunch of stock of all the Indiana Jones toys because there's a big store. They have.
I'll pick them up when they go to clearance because I'll use them for parts since they're the same kind of molds as Star Wars toys. But
and I love Indy, but I didn't get 1 6-inch figure because that's something I did not ever see at retail. Is just a standard Indiana Jones with his molded hat and whip at retail. I wanted to see it, even though it's in a closed box. I
I
didn't
would've
want to
picked up
order it on
short
Amazon, and I didn't.
I found them, but yeah, I didn't see them in stores either. Anytime I did, it was usually Sala and the girl from the new one. That was just
But I
like sitting.
love the retros. I thought those were great that they did those, and fingers crossed, they still.
I
make a
think that
wave or
Indiana
two in the
Jones is
future.
done. I think that
Oh,
line's.
No,
it's
it's definitely not done. They do have more
I think they're
product.
done.
they
Talked
already
about
announced
it
that.
recently on as Hasbro
I don't
answering
believe
questions.
anything they say on their
No,
live
they
stream.
already said Indiana Jones, Power Rangers, and Dungeons and Dragons are done.
Not done. They own Power Rangers. They don't stop making toys that they own. The property.
Lightning Collection's done right now. They just leased it out to McFarlane. They're not doing Power Rangers toys for the next year.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they don't have a Power Ranger. This is the first year that they don't have a show in production anymore. They're moving the production and rebooting the franchise. So they're not producing toys until they do the reboot.
And I didn't know they made Power Rangers since 1994. Like, to be honest, like
Yeah,
if they
30
still
years.
made it after the 90s, I'm blown away.
Yeah, they were up until last year. Cosmic Fury was the last season, which is on that.
All right, so this is the open helmet Vader, which I was kind of happy to get last year. I was really looking forward to this figure a lot. I think it
This is
just
the best one they did.
way
The best
too long.
I
Yeah.
thought Vern made that.
Way
Yeah.
too long, but this was the best Vader they've done to date, in my opinion.
I've never seen this one at retail.
It was a Target exclusive here.
I actually put the one that I made back in the box, and
There
I
you go.
have the one that I bought.
I sold the
Well,
one I made.
It might be at Toys R Us if I was to go look there, but I don't.
I bought two of these, and I took the helmet completely off the one because you have the full Anakin sculpt underneath, which looks great. And then the other one I have like with my Kenobi stuff, but the helmetless one I have with the Inquisitor, and it looks great. But I love that they actually did. This was the first Vader that they actually gave that shine to his helmet and his armor, so like it actually looked like it was supposed to look. And they gave him the real red lenses, which for Kenobi that was a change. So
I do
Yeah,
think
we-
I want it. I just haven't.
We're
had the
online.
opportunity yet.
What?
I do think I want it.
No.
I'm at the store if you want to just hide out for a second.
Is John watching cartoons again?
No, he's muting himself because he's talking to Geek Strong. And then the Hot Toys, right, came out with the or Sideshow came out with the Supergirl this year, which everyone said did not look like the actor.
I wouldn't buy anything from this movie.
I got the McFarlane one.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I have. I have the Batmobile and the Batman from that, but anything else outside of that, this movie was horrible.
I'm glad they brought Zod back. Zod's pretty cool. He's a good actor.
And then we got the Vern Hulk, which I've never been able to find, by the way.
That
Any of
Teen
them.
Boy Hulk?
I
don't
thought you
have
put it together. No,
What? No,
I thought-
I didn't remember which wave it was either. They're probably all on clearance somewhere, but
it was the
problem-
Avengers. Yeah, you'll find them in Ross probably soon.
no,
I've never seen this. Was it a Build-A-Figure or is it just called?
yeah,
Beach-
it's
Beach
part of
Hulk?
a Build-A-Figure. The
No,
only Build-A-Figure
for the Avengers wave.
I've been
Ah,
finding
I'm a
are
Hulkster.
for the Conchu or whatever. Those are the
That's-
only ones that I've been
That's the
finding.
Moon Knight one. This
Do you
is
have
the
this Hulk, Vern?
the
No,
Miss
I
Marvel.
I wish.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is Vern Hulk. That's what we
my
were
hair,
joking
man.
about.
That's my hair.
It's Amadeus Cho Hulk. So
Beach
it's,
Body Buff
Same
Hulk.
hair, the same hairline, even.
Yeah, but that hair is real. I've never.
All right, let's see.
Yeah, I think it's Marvel's wave. I think Joseph Batcher said I think it's the Marvel's wave. That's this Hulk.
Yeah. I think I got a couple of the figures actually. I got
So I'm saying you'll be able to find that and put that together. If not, if I find them in Ollie's, I'll pick them up and ship them out to you.
all right, and then this is the Amazon exclusive Batman and Batmobile. You all have it, right?
I have the Flash one. I didn't buy this one, and I'm still tempted to buy this one and just get rid of the Flash one because
Well,
this
this
is so
one's
much
got-
nicer.
This one's got the flat matte paint or whatever on it, which makes it look really good.
And it comes with the Batman, and it just looks nice in the package because it's the '89 branded instead of the Flash branded. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I think that the real draw on this to me is the way that they do the pictures. It's not just some
Oh, for sure. They do
figure
great
on a
product shots.
Yeah, no.
You know,
Whoever
they
they got that does their McFarlane photo is very,
yeah, I
very
want
good.
the diorama here. That's
Yep.
what I
And
want.
what's different about McFarlane that you're going to notice is these aren't 3D renderings.
No, this is all actual photo.
Rarely uses 3D renderings because the product, when he announces it, it's already on the way to the stores. Like it's
ready to
not
go.
like
Yeah.
a year ahead pre-order. He's
Right.
that much ahead of the game. He's a very good business person that way.
I give him credit
I
too
can
because
confirm that this was one of the best-selling toys of 2023 for my
yeah, definitely was because they still have it up on Amazon. Like he reissued this multiple times to make sure that everybody could get this, and now it's like to the point where everyone got one, and now you can readily still.
I'm not able to find it anywhere.
It's on Amazon.
It's been on Amazon all year.
It's still on Amazon for $74, which you can't beat for this. You get the.
I like it. I'm a Batman fan. It's just I don't know. I don't have any 6-inch.
I have the
Batman
Flash
toys
one
and-
still in box. I never
So
opened it.
I actually
or
sat
7-inch.
in a 1-to-1 scale Batmobile back in the early 90s because I worked at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and they had the stage and stunt show, and they had that Batmobile would come out in the middle of the show and open up, and we used to have to like back it up.
It's cool.
I
It's my
give
second
McFarlane-
favorite Batmobile after the 66 one.
I give McFarlane a lot of credit too because he even just pivoted on the animated line. Did you guys see that? So like he did the first wave of the animated figures, which were all cell shaded, and there were $30 a piece with the Build a Figure, and everyone complained about them because of the cell shading and the Build a Figure. He's gonna pivot now and do them more in the New Adventures style. So it'll just be the figure, $20, no cell shading, but the animated looks and come with a bunch of accessories. They look
I
the
don't-
first
I don't-
figure.
no Build a Figure.
Yeah,
I don't like
something
that
like
cell shading at all.
No,
Neither do
He's gonna have a
They
big
look- they
year
look
next year.
really
He's gonna have a
bad.
lot of new toys out.
Yeah.
Those look great though. Once I saw them and saw that they're in scale with like the previous released Batman figures in that, from the cartoon line, I was like, oh yeah, I'm in on those. Those will be awesome.
what I'm wondering is if he does the animated style Batmobile like this big,
Yes.
I am gonna be like all in. I love that the animated.
If he's
They
doing
did
the
it once
figures,
already.
he
So
will
there's a
definitely
mold
do the
for it
Batmobile.
already. There's a mold for this already, for the Batmobile in that scale already, and the Batcave in that scale already. So like he can very easily redo those products that were already out. So it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting.
Another prediction: he will make
Oh.
that Batmobile, John.
So McFarlane also has a Spawn art contest right now that you can design or draw your own covers for 4 of their characters, the Western one, whatever, and submit them. And he's going to pick people,
cool,
and
right?
you're going to get your own artwork if you win on one of the exclusive covers. There's going to be
That's
4
awesome.
opportunities to win.
For
So
the
if you're not
comics?
following them, you should do that. Draw your best picture, hashtag them or whatever. It sounds like a really cool opportunity to get some artwork
because
out on an official book.
I thought that was a nice touch too, that he decided with the page punchers that he was no longer going to use comics that were already out. He was doing original comic issues for those 6-inch page punchers now. So like those are
In
not
a way, he's like one of the only people trying to save the comic industry. Like he,
yeah, and like
So
that's a
his
great
number
idea.
one.
Like so if you buy in the
business,
6-inch
right?
ones, you're getting books that are not available in the store that you can't buy on their own. They're
that's an
special
actually
things.
really interesting thing because he's going to do some page punchers for Transformers and Star Wars.
But they're
and if he-
not Star Wars. Not Star Wars. He got
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe, Transformers, and Power Rangers. Not Star Wars.
No,
Are you
because Star
sure?
Wars is
Because I thought he said he was doing some the little ones for page
No,
punchers.
no,
he doesn't have the license for
No
Star Wars.
Star Wars license. He only got the Transformers, Joes, and Power Rangers from Hasbro. That's what he's. But they're gonna.
Because
they're
those he
only
can
gonna be
do.
4-inch.
I thought he was
Has
going to do
anyone
those
here bought
small
any of those
and
page
big.
punchers?
The Hasbro licensed page punchers are only going to be 4-inch. They're not doing 6-inch versions of
No,
them.
they're 2-inch.
Oh, so they're not going to be even 2-inch. They're going to be
No, they are. They're 2-inch.
Whatever the smaller ones are, yeah. Whatever they're not doing the 6-inch page punchers with those lines because it'll conflict with classifieds and you know, Transformers.
So
Has
what?
anyone bought
Weird.
any of those 2-inch page punchers?
No.
No.
They
I
look-
I've never
It-
seen one off the shelf. Like there's
I
still
got
there.
a
from 2 years ago.
Batman. I got a Batman. I bought 2 of the Batman and 1 of the Superman, and I opened the Batman, and the figures were terrible.
They're that bad.
They were
They're some of the
so
worst.
bad.
They're,
Yeah,
worse, they're worse than 99-cent star figures, is what they are.
That's
yeah,
why
they
I
were.
feel
Yeah.
weird because, like, yeah, you're going to be able to do those licenses, but like, how many people are really going to go out of their way to buy those
Nobody.
small figures?
There's
You
people
know
that
what I
want
mean?
the comic books. That's what they're like. They're not
But it's
there
the-
for the toys. That's
You got to
just-
open them to read the comics.
That's giving him the
And
That's
with those
James
smaller
Gunn,
figures,
giving
those are
him
comics
the
that are already been
DC
released. Like that's what
They
he's
are.
doing with
Yeah.
privilege, and he's trying. Like I said, it's mostly just for the comic books, like because it's killing. It's a dying industry, and all these people that privately own comic stores, it's a product for them to sell. They can make some good profit off them because people will want
The
those
comic book
comics.
store down the street is more like a
Yeah,
collectible shop now.
Well,
There's
they
like
have to
one,
be.
I mean, they got
Well,
all
they
the
have
back
to.
issues in the
No.
middle. They got like one wall with like comics on it. It's
We have
pretty
comic
long.
stores down here that are specifically only comic books, and
Yeah, but
they've been
the,
saying the last couple of years they've been doing better than they ever have.
the rest of the
Not around
store
here.
is just full of collectibles. So
There are
Yeah,
no comic book stores.
That's pretty much how
here.
like the ones by me have to be. They have to have other stuff because the ones that are just comics are going out of business very quickly.
We have
All
no
right.
hobby stores and no comic stores that I know of in the lower
Oh.
mainland of Vancouver.
that's too bad. You need to move. Um,
Come to
Or
America.
open up
Rick.
a hobby comic store.
so I think this is kind of an underrated action figure in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely one of the best ones of the year for
It's the
classified.
most versatile figure,
Yeah.
right?
Is that Grunt?
Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles helmet, yeah.
And he wasn't like it wasn't that like when he came out, everyone was like ranting and raving about it. But once you got it in hand and like
Yeah.
saw how good it was, and like the fact if you bought multiples of these, you could pair them with the Steel Brigades and make a bunch of troopers and stuff. Like it's a versatile figure.
That's my next question. Did anyone buy multiples of him? Because he was meant to be like a good guy army builder, as he
No, I
was
was only able to find
in
one.
the 80s.
Yeah, I only picked up one just because I wanted, Grunt and wanted the figure. But yeah, I have the helmet like displayed on like his back, like on the butt end of one of his guns on the backpack, just so it's like still displayed with him. But yeah, I think it's a cool way to do it. And like they're doing the same thing with Breaker, right? Is that who comes
Yeah.
with the vamp?
I was
I
only
would
able to
guess
find
it sold
one of
pretty
them.
well as an army builder, in my assumption of
Well,
it's
see,
army building and it's army men. So like if there's
Yeah.
anyone going to army build, it's army men people.
yeah,
I think
and
what happened with him is he came out at Target, but the price point was set too
Yeah.
low.
I was
And
just
then
about
they
to
just
say.
held him off and hit him in the back until they got the price thing.
But like he sold out pretty quick yesterday, like pretty quick because of that. Because Target had him listed for $16 when he first came out, and like it's like, oh man, we could do a whole top 10 of Joe's. How people are commenting,
Yeah,
but yeah,
we're not.
Tripwire's another good one. A Snow
Right.
Job, another one. Like there's a lot that they did this year where it's like for the value and for the money of what you paid for it, you got your money's worth. You know what I mean? And that's why, in my opinion, they're the brand to beat this year for 20.
Well, I think for GI Joe collectors, I think
Well,
this
I
was
think-
the
I think
brand.
for
This was
value.
the brand to beat right here. This is Indiana Jones: The Adventure Series. They were the top selling action figure line for Hasbro this year.
Yeah, yep.
It did
This was-
okay, man. It didn't do as bad
So
as
much
everyone
so that
thinks.
they're
Like,
sitting in a warehouse someplace, just waiting to go to
sold
Ross
lots
Alley.
of these. Amazon sold lots of these. I can confirm.
Oh, I'm
It
sure they
was
did because there's a
Good
lot of
selling toy.
people like
Look,
you guys that have attachment to Indiana Jones. People my
Here's the
age.
best part about this set. This is the best part about like if you had collected these.
It's
You
the
have
piece.
more cups than came with Bib Fortuna.
So that to me, that was the one cool thing of this series was building the prop pieces and having
sure.
like why can't all right if we were talking about dials with Star Wars, why can't we get build-a-figure pieces and make something with the like as a display? That would be.
I think this build a set piece thing was going to die out after the first year anyways, just because
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what they were doing was adding it in there to sort of help push and drive the line
Go
a
on.
little
Because
bit.
now
right?
you have something to display these figures with.
But eventually, you're going to end up with like the Indiana Jones in the dress attire or whatever, where he basically came with like nothing other than
just came with some pieces.
skewer, came with a shish
chickens
kebab,
on it or
didn't he?
something. Yeah, shish kebab thing.
But it's interesting that these Indiana Jones toys were all like the 6-inch were all Build-A-Figure types waves.
And they're
They've
made
never
by,
done that with Star Wars, which
and they're made
I'm
by the
assuming
same team. It was
I'm
the same
assuming that-
development team, Rick.
No, only the main guy. He had different people
but it's
working
the
on it.
lecensing.
No, it wasn't. It was him
Exactly.
and the Black Series guy. It was
We were
the
always
same.
told they couldn't do Build-A-Figure stuff for Star Wars
Yeah.
because
And
the
look,
licensing costs more
Here it is.
than Marvel.
It depends.
But the
A lot of
licensing for
expands
Indiana
that.
Jones, I think, is the exact same as Star
It was
Wars.
the exact same license. Yeah.
Mod Actor's asking, is it true that they've wrapped up the line? And you'll just have to decide whether or not you believe Waze, who says yes, or if you believe Rick, who says no, they still have more to come.
No,
They
'cause
did
that's-
say in the
not
Hasbro
touching
questioning
any
thing
of-
that, you
Or
know,
if
they
you
talk
just want
about
me
it,
to
but
answer the question and say they have not wrapped up the line officially, but there's nothing else coming.
Yeah, they didn't do any panels at PulseCon, nothing. Like this was dead
It's
in the
coming
water.
back though. It's coming back because they're going to have 15 action figures that are going to be San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, right? Because they have a whole bunch of Indiana Jones they got to make, action figures they got to make for every year between the Crystal Skull, because they haven't made Crystal Skull yet.
No,
need
they
to make
didn't.
those ones, and they
That's
have
what I'm
to make
talking about.
all the as him getting 1 year older every year
And
until
Young Indy,
to
in Young
1969.
Adventures of Indiana Jones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
have.
any Burns, or do you have
I
at
would have
least
liked
one in the
River
figure, right?
Phoenix. Like if they did River Phoenix, I probably
I've
would
been
pick
saying
it
that
up.
since the beginning. That River Phoenix version would be
Yeah.
awesome. But I think if they do a young Indiana Jones, they're going to do the TV. They're going to do that Indiana Jones Chronicle, dude.
Yeah, the young one, the Young Adventures.
Could
All right,
happen.
but anyways, so then we had the Action Force paint on the face.
Warpath.
Yeah, that they kept pretending like they were going to sell on their website, and finally did when wasn't interested anymore. But I remember when they first announced it, I was like, "Yeah, oh, this one's really cool. I kind of want to get it." But then,
She goes
nobody
really
going to
well
any
with
of these.
too.
No, but
Like,
not one person going to any of these comic places or Joe Fest or any of the other little places that they were taking it to on the East Coast. Everyone I talked to was like, "Oh, it'll be up on their website soon." So not one person was willing to help me out, which is fine. So by the time it did go up on the website, I was kind of like, well, I'm kind of done with that. So
yeah, it looks cool. Like this is the coolest figure I've seen them do. If that's
Kinda.
any credit.
Yeah.
You know, but that's about it. I have no
I think the
interest
guy
in
with
it.
the beard is obviously the coolest figure they've made.
I think this is cool because like you know, we need more Native American representation and stuff. So it's cool that like they tried to do something with this to give her that. And like she goes great with Spirit. Like that would look cool, I'm sure, if you got them on the shelf. But
all right. So then Snow Job came out, which kind of took everybody's attention away from anything those guys were doing when they came out with their Arctic snowsuit. And this is probably the closest thing that I'm ever going to get to like a version that kind of reminds me of the 12-inch GI Joes, just because of the beard and the mustache and the color hair and stuff like that.
Yeah. I honestly think this is probably the most slept on Joe in the wave, in like
I've
the
never
entire
seen it.
line. Well, it's a Pulse exclusive. That's why him and Tripwire
That's
are
why
both.
I've never seen it.
They're both exclusive to Pulse, and I think once you get this figure in your hand and see it, you're like, man, I got so much stuff with him, and everything stores on him. He looks awesome. But like, I think that was their detriment with him and Tripwire. It's like that's why they didn't sell out, was because they're Pulse exclusives and people.
Yeah, it's like it. Well, now that they have that thing where like if you order a certain amount, you can get free shipping. It kind of changes that, but you take away for me. I got him, so you're taking away my opportunity to find this guy on clearance and to be able to pick up another one. So the only option I have now is to find this at Ross, because a lot of those Pulse exclusives are ending up at Ross.
He's awesome.
I
though.
promise you, Hasbro does not care that you find him on clearance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They don't mind.
They have their
Because
other.
they've already sold the figure. They've already been paid, $10 for it. If you pay $5 for it, they still got paid $10 for it.
Yeah, exactly. So
you know what they'll probably do with this too? They'll probably reuse this figure multiple times to build out the rest of the Arctic team because it is just a rubber overlay.
I wish that they
100% they're making a snowmobile.
I did want to get one and paint it in that kind of like light bluish to match with that Hunt for the Yeti figure.
I've seen a lot of people making buying multiples of this, and then just like I've seen people put Snake Eyes head on here, and then you got Arctic Snake Eyes, Duke, same thing. So like it's very easy to do because it is just a rubber overlay over the top. So it's, really easy.
But I want Adventure Team figures. Darn it!
I know you do. I know they gave you. They're trying with those.
So does my great grandpa.
Still not scratching your itch there. You want the official
I do. I want them to look just like those 12-inch figures. What about these biker mice? Remember when we were talking about these? All of you guys were in. Every single one of you was 100%
I was not in.
I was not in, but I think they're cool. I think this is cool of that Nancel company to do.
Pull in the video.
And they're coming back with Ryan Reynolds. So this company
John was like, these are the best things since sliced bread. I can't wait to put these in my collection.
It is coming back though as a TV show and everything.
It
so
is,
might be renewed interest with this. And thanks to Ryan Reynolds, he partnered with the guy who did Toys That Made Us, and now all this stuff's coming to light now. So it's
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the
guy from Mint Mobile
company and what they're working on.
Yeah, it's interesting. And they got Street Sharks coming too, so it's gonna be interesting.
All right, so
Street Sharks was in the Silverhawks Thundercats universe.
Okay.
No, sorry, no, that was Tiger Sharks. Sorry, that was Tiger Sharks.
Marvel Legends Chris Star yet? I see those are shipping.
Yeah,
Chris Star.
Are those going to be just like those Star Wars Black Series Chris Star figures?
That are sitting on shelves everywhere and don't all the way light up.
Toy line.
Have you seen pictures of those?
I have made a 6-inch figure for. I think
that's pretty cool. They only light up to the knees because the way the light's not powerful enough to light up the whole figure. So it literally lights up the waist and below, and the rest of the figure is just not even lit up. It looks bad.
All right.
Especially for $34.
You got?
What was that?
Show us the one you got.
Of what?
The little light up figure.
Oh, I didn't buy them. I didn't buy them. I've seen pictures online of them, and I was laughing. I thought it was the stupidest move to do those figures in the first place. Why? Why do you keep shooting themselves in the foot?
No, that's because they just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do.
I don't know which one it was.
Why?
Like a cigarette lighter built inside it.
Why do you guys think so with Joe? Obviously, with Joe, they can do Python Patrol, Tiger Force to get their reuse out of their figures, right? Why do you think Hasbro is insistent on doing these sublines of Star Wars where they do the credit collection, the Carbonite collection? Why not reuse these parts for other figures like customizers do instead of having to do these stupid lines and these hologram collections and the credit there's no need for any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, it's some people like that. Little one-off deal. That the credit collection when they first did it I thought was super cool because it was, you saw that artwork at the end of the show and you thought, oh, this is really cool, they're doing it, and then they just overdid it in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't think they're done. I don't think they're done with it.
Oh, they're not. They're not done by a long shot.
It's pivoted to these 2-packs.
To repaint something and then just repackage it in some special packaging and add one little piece of plastic and try to get another full price from you.
And we were getting the archive wave, but there's no archive wave this year. It's exclusive to UK.
Listen,
and we have them.
That credit collection
on Amazon last week.
That credit collection Mando at Ross was $3.99. Okay, so all the other action figures were $5.99. I think those Dungeons and Dragons were $4.99, but that credit collection on the card was $3.99, which means they got an even better deal on those because nobody wanted them.
No, because those that Moff Gideon that I sent you from the credit collection from Ollie's was 7, and that's how much they were at Ollie's, and they still have them. Like they can't get rid of them.
The reason that is because Ross or Ollie's, they're buying their pallets, their lots from like Best Buy. Like one of them was a Best Buy exclusive, one was a Target exclusive, and then one was a Walmart exclusive, etc. So they're buying these lots from the auction people, and they're getting them at different prices. So that's why one's $3.99 and one's $6.99. They obviously got a way better deal on.
Ollie's is currently having to, like, on top of their prices being low, they're clearing all the toy stuff out like 33% on top of the low price because they're just trying to get rid of it now. Because they're literally
room for like pillows and pants.
Well, now they're sitting on tons of Eternals figures that nobody wanted still, because even for that price, people still didn't buy them. And then they're sitting on tons of Dungeons and Dragons stuff and the same archive wave of Star Wars Black Series that they've gotten in about 6 times now. So it's like figures that people have had the opportunity already to get multiple times.
They've sold stuff off at auction before too, like so. Other even lower discount stores, Value Village or something, can buy lots of stuff that didn't sell at the discount stores, and they get it for like dirt cheap.
I don't have any Rosses like near me; they're all far away. So when I did search, I didn't find anything.
All right. So I did ask these guys to send me their worst of 2023 and their best of 2023. And I put together a presentation. We'll go through those. Now, John's still on the phone trying to make a deal for his G.I. Joes, so we're just going to go through his.
Deal.
And if I got them wrong or reversed, we won't know because he's not here to say one way or the other. And then we're going to get Connor in here from Fuller's Figures. He's going to join us on our panel. How's it going?
Sorry for joining so late. Daddy
No,
duty.
that's a problem. No problem. All right, so we're just about to do the best or the worst of 2023 and the best. And the way I did it was we're going to go through everybody's worst figures first. And then we're going to do everybody's best figures. And then we'll just talk about how you guys could talk about how you got to your decision or whatever. But we'll start with Waze here. For some reason, I don't know why, he decided to send me a picture of his custom Star Killer and said it was the worst of 2023.
No. I sent you.
That's not what it was. Oh,
yeah.
It was this Star Killer.
Yes. So I know. So believe it or not, now that the single pack one's getting released, like now, I've seen a lot of people like, oh my god, this is the greatest figure I've seen this year. Oh no. It's the worst piece of crap they could have absolutely done when it came to Star Killer. The mold itself is smaller than a normal Black Series figure, which makes no sense because Sam's like my height, so he's like 6'3". So why this figure's like so tiny, like on
character
on like a Luke body, it's beyond me. The sculpt
Why is he standing in water? Did he jump down into a puddle of water and it splashed?
No, that's the force effect that they gave him. But for this set specifically, this set was like $100 and something, and the lights. It came with one lightsaber when they gave you 4 blades, so you only had the one saber hilt. Even though for both games he really had 2 sabers, so like they gypped you on that, and just the likeness, the sculpt, the posability of the figure. For him having these like force effects, his arms fall down all the time. They don't even stand up.
It really does look like they're coming out of his fingertips, though.
Because they're
like
attached.
The hand, yeah, they're attached to the hand. It's like a separate hand. So like
it's all molded in clear blue, and they just paint the hand.
I have one of the hands. They're the same Palpatine hands that came with the deluxe Palpatine.
More or less. But
in this set, Ways, did you only get the one saber in the deluxe set?
So you only got the one saber, but they gave you both blades. They gave you 2 blue and 2 red, but you only got the one hilt.
Oh, I see.
And so, like, now, Vern, if you show my custom, please.
Your worst of 2023 that we already showed?
Like, this is my custom that I made, and it is 10 times better than the figure that they did.
The Christian Bale version of Star Killer.
No, it's not. It's a Sam Witwer head sculpt that looks exactly like Sam.
It kind of looks like you.
A bit. But that to me like.
All right.
Oh man, that was tough. I ate crow when I did that review. Like I was so excited for this figure, and then when I got it, like you can watch my review. I kind of crapped all over this when I
Anybody else have this figure?
everybody passed on this version because like I know Brian and stuff was talking about I'm just gonna get the single release when it comes out, and it's
I
like
did see it in Walmart like 2 days ago for the first time because he's
A
in
single one, yeah.
he's in the
Yeah.
wave with Balin Skull
and like yeah, they gave him extra
And his
heads.
head- I thought
the
his
head-
face looked actually really good. Like it's a generic
It's not
Star Wars character. He's not a real. He's based on an artwork that's on your computer
It's
screen.
based on an actual person though. So like to have the actual person and be able to scan his face versus using
No, but I've played the video game, but I've seen it. It's not Sam Wood where on like the photograph of the image, he just does the voice.
no,
Much
it's
like Darth Maul. Darth Maul is not sculpted over Sam
but
Witwer's likeness.
yeah,
like,
and the likeness of Starkiller is Sam. Like that is
I
Sam.
didn't know that. I thought it was just a
Is he
generic
considered still
computer
canon
game
of
guy.
Star Wars?
Yeah, it's not good. I was really disappointed with this.
All right. So then Rick's worst of 2023 is this retro set.
What?
Oh, wow, I thought
Well, you didn't send me a worst of, so I had to pick something for
I
you.
did. I said the worst is all other Ahsoka figures
All
except
right,
one.
let's move on. But you didn't send me a picture, so I had to throw a picture in there. So yours is really the Ahsoka action figures,
Is
A couple
all
of
other
them-
Ahsoka action figures.
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for Ahsoka.
And most
Barra-
most shows like this wouldn't do the worst first, so
All
you
right.
did the reach around the wrong way, and it's not
Whatever.
as funny
Anyway.
this way when you do it this way.
Connor's worst of 2023 is
Falcon.
pick, Connor. That's a good pick.
It's, it is and it isn't because from the neck down, Falcon was an excellent figure, and
Yeah,
I
you're right.
was just, my reasoning behind this is then it's not to sort of knock what the GI Joe team have done. It's just that they set the standard so high during the year with their particularly their face sculpts that just this one. And I know it was a sort of a mix or a production issue or something, but it was just that's why for me I just wanted a Falcon figure. We heard we were getting them, and then when they started coming out and we started seeing the pictures online, it was just such a disappointment. But again, it's the worst figure based off the standard that they had set themselves.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound overly critical. Actually,
I think Cover Girl's in that
Is this
conversation.
the one you
too.
used for
I
your
think
head
it's-
swap?
yeah, so
Right. That's the
I
one you
u-
used for your head swap.
I
Yeah.
used the William Dafoe head from the Green Goblin, so I've got a
Oh, okay. Yeah.
from
Who
Mhm.
played
Until-
General Hawk in the Joe movie? Was that
That was Flint. That's
Wait.
yeah.
McQuaid? Okay.
All right. And then Dan sent his in, and lo and behold, his worst figure of 2023 was also
Wow.
Falcon.
That's
And
that's
then-
Good
so
call,
bad.
Dan.
Yeah. So he had two. He said so he did was he sent me one for Joe and one for Marvel Legends. He said that this was the worst for him for Marvel Legends just because it was overpriced. I think it was an exclusive, and then they re-released all the figures with
With
the
the
actual
different heads.
heads.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's why.
pretty sure we all predicted that too, like about a year ago.
Yes.
Well, they said it. Though. That's the problem. Like they told people when this set came out that like, hey, if you guys wait like another 6 months, you're getting the versions you want with the unmasked heads. So like that's why I passed on this right away and then waited till the
Well, I
retro.
think when they originally announced this, they showed the heads, but then I don't think they had the licensing at the time, and they ended
No,
up.
there was
Oh.
something wrong
Yeah,
with
there
that.
was-
Yeah.
And then they had to settle on like the Garfield thing with everything being branded amazing. Garfield and Doc Ock, they're all branded for that specific movie.
Then Super John said that his worst figure of the year is the Superpowers.
Almost the whole line is like the worst line of the.
It's a dead line. Like
It was
just-
so bad. Yeah.
I mean, it was a good idea, good attempt in my mind, but it just I don't.
Well, part of it is like I enjoy the figures on the card with the packaging, but I opened up like a Batman, a Superman, Robin, and the figures are trash. They're just
Yes.
they feel terrible. They barely move. Like when you go to move the joints, it feels like you're going to break the figure. Like they weren't designed for you to actually open up and play with. These are just something that he said everyone's supposed to leave them in the box because they feel like they're going to break in half. Plus, he put holes in the capes to attach them.
The first wave he corrected on
to attach them to the backer board because I think he wanted the cape to look like it's flowing or something when it's in the packaging. So it's got holes in them, Yeah, it's just really weird.
So they did. I can confirm they didn't do that on the reissues of that.
They fixed it,
and on every new figure since then with a cape. But also, this line is. Although I haven't bought a figure yet. I'll get a couple. I'm waiting for a couple of characters.
I mean, can you imagine you're going to see Left
but he's in a 3-pack
around with the cutter.
Peacemaker. But it's also one of the best-selling toys on Amazon this year. It's very popular toy line.
They literally, I can go to any Walmart and the whole line is just sitting on those pegs.
That's great. Todd McFarlane made billions of dollars off Walmart.
But I have not seen
way too many of these.
I have not seen a Left Coast graphic short of one of these being opened with a razor. I'm telling you, I haven't.
No, I haven't got one yet. I'm waiting.
I mean, and they're supposed to be like retros, right?
But I picked this particular figure because number one, it was never in the Superpowers line. It's a modern character.
It's a modern character.
And number two, in my opinion, I mean, I could be, I'm probably way out there, but because I know they've made statues and all these other things. I hated this character and I hated the storyline. This was like the worst idea they ever had in the comics, in my opinion. So
and McFarlane really milked this metal line like he did.
Yeah.
He did every single character in the regular wave and then throwing in this too. And I'm with you, John. I hated this story. I thought it was awful. I think the character designs are awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
All right.
So that's why I picked this figure.
Okay. So going along with something John said earlier about the playability and that type of stuff is where I get my worst of 2023, and it's basically could be the entire line. I just threw a picture of these ones in here. Let's just stick with the wizard who's got zero articulation.
Yeah, zero.
And
that's bad.
You can't bend the legs on this other guy because his robe's so long. Looks really cool. All the figures look really cool. They practically were ready to fall apart right out of the box. But anyways,
these two in particular were essentially just two little statues that you got to go with your figures. Yeah, they really were.
So this is my worst.
You guys bought them all.
You guys were looking forward to these. That's the sad part.
I know.
For years
we're talking about. Yeah,
but I did for the other three figures: the Cavalier, the girl Sheila, and Presto the Wizard. I waited till they were on clearance for $10 each before I bought them.
I have. If you guys still need them, there's a wall of them at Ollie's that have not moved in 3 months.
They were all on clearance on Amazon.
I think they look pretty cool.
They're all there, and so are the movie Dungeons and Dragons figures.
You know where they look really cool? They look cool hanging on the shelves at Ollie's.
Do you think window boxes would have our window on cards?
Well, yeah, I was just about to say because
them out so you can pose them. Yeah,
but I'm that guy. I think all action figures should be on a retro style card back. I think that is how action figures should be sold at retail. Period.
Yeah.
If it's an army pack or a 3-pack, I understand change it up a bit. But single figures, 25 US, whatever the going rate is for most of these figures now. McFarlane's got a package design that you can see the figures. Sometimes it's a box. Well, it's all boxes, but I mean, you can even see the sides of the figures on a lot of these toys now. Gentle
that's my only thing with the McFarlane stuff.
Have Mythic Legions. They have collector-friendly, resealable clamshell style packaging with.
That's nice too.
That's how all toys should do that. If they don't, they're missing out on potential double sales. People double dipping.
See, for me, McFarlane, the problem with McFarlane is that it's the same box for every line and every figure.
It is, yeah.
The same exact box with nothing to it. Like if he had artwork on the box or something.
It's actually way too much box too. It's way too much box for the figure.
I think part of that is he might, because his agreement with DC, their packaging is very DC branded. Like It's DC brand before it's
Great.
Batman or before it's McFarlane Toys.
If they were on like
And that's
card
why
support, they would sell a
Todd
lot more.
McFarlane's licensing deal with DC Comics, it might be like zero. Like I actually have a feeling Todd McFarlane doesn't pay DC, which is run by James Gunn now, to make these toys. Like, he's just the main guy that does it. He's very good at it, and that's why he's high up in the DC books.
Gunn's-
Unlike other companies,
Gunn's
they
only
pay
doing-
for the rights to make toys, and that's
Sorry,
why Marvel Legends
I
aren't
bought them as these
Marvel.
boxes now
They're not
next year.
Marvel everywhere.
I do
They're not-
too, Connor.
I think out of all of them, I know they're windowless, but I think the Joe team nailed
Yeah.
these boxes and
Oh yeah, they did a really good job on their windowless
beautiful
box.
artwork on it. So
It's
I
the great
actually-
photography that we
this
talked about
design-
early on.
Look,
My
so,
only
so
gripe
much
is having
so,
cut off
Connor,
plastic ties. I hated
So-
that with how it damaged the
McFarlane
figure.
could do that.
so
and it
much
would be-
so, Connor, that when I saw that Mutt and Junkyard in the plastic window box, I thought to myself, like, I don't think I like that box.
Yeah,
No, but
yeah,
open
I-
that one.
I get what you're saying, but I still like the window and seeing it. Yeah, but
Well, for
now
sure,
they did that
sure.
theme. They took this front package artwork and put it on the back, which is a nice little touch for Joe at least. But I agree. Out of all the plastic frees, these were the best with the little storage crate too, and like
Yeah, that's kind of a neat
All right.
idea.
you know,
So now,
By the way, my Mud and Junkyard just shipped. I just got the
Oh.
notice.
Oh,
we're
Some
going
of
to
the better
move on
artwork
to
of
what
the
you
year.
guys chose as your best of 2023. And of course, the first one is Waze
So good.
sent in his best of 2023, and he thinks it's Chuckles from the G.I.
Yeah.
Joe line. I'm
Nice.
surprised it's not the Ahsoka action figure.
And his
No.
second runner-up is Falcon. That's who he's got behind
Yes.
no, that's just who that is. But probably Snow Job would be the second runner up on if Joe wise.
him.
But
Yeah, right.
I love this figure. I thought it was so awesome to get, and the fact that like he came with the two sets of cuffs. He came with the paperwork, and like the packaging is awesome. The whole figure all around I thought was really, really like awesome for what it was and the price that we paid for it. You know what I mean?
And he got two different heads, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
two different heads. He comes with the
Yeah.
brass knucks and then like the beat up face. It's awesome all around. And then like the fact that he's got the sunglasses to put like over the beat up eyes or just hold like a half of them and the little cassette Walkman, like awesome little accessories for him. Really, really nice stuff.
I can't find my headphones.
You guys
I
all
think-
got this guy, right?
I think
Well,
the
No, I
friendship-
didn't.
Okay.
I missed out. I didn't. I
that
missed
Crimson
out, but I think he's gonna come as a regular release with less accessories, right?
Probably,
So I'll get
probably.
him then.
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
not sure if he will.
Oh,
but
was he exclusive to a
I
con?
actually I cancelled my pre-order on this guy. I
Yeah.
had him
Well, this
pre-ordered.
was
Oh,
kind of
wow.
like how they did with Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, Dr. Mindbender. They all had those special edition versions, and then they were re-released as a single
Well,
without all the
Mindbender-
extra.
Mindbender won't be now because they redid that exclusive 25 times, just like they did with Serpentor. So neither one of them are getting released on their own anymore because they're not exclusive anymore. Either one of them.
I think they eventually kind of got discounted at some GameStops and stuff. So
But
Yeah.
I was hoping that this guy would be the same because I missed him on this round, but I was thinking he'd come out again, like with just
Yeah,
different.
hopefully he will. I know Veebs was. I was listening to Veebs like early in the year, and this was the figure he wanted from Classifieds the most. And like when it actually came out, I was like really impressed with it. I just got his one of the favorites
vintage. I just got his
myself.
vintage version right now today.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
I didn't
Right,
buy
and
any
then-
toes this
Connor,
year.
you said you canceled him because you didn't have an attachment to him, right? That's why you ended up getting rid of it.
Yeah, so the way it's gone over here with the whole that they've stripped G.I. Joe from the fan channels and it's Hasbro Pulse only.
Mhm.
We're waiting 6 or 8 months behind everyone else for the stuff to ship. So what's happened was I was going back in and I was looking at pre-orders and I was rethinking them. So when they made the announcements, I pre-ordered everything and I just didn't have the affinity to the character. So there's nothing wrong. Great figure, great accessories. And I was only holding on to the characters that I had that connection with from childhood. So that was my decision process behind that. I cancelled it. But I may live to regret it because it's an awesome figure. I've seen all the guys' videos reviewing them. I think it's a brilliant figure. I think they're great accessories, but I was just sort of stamping my foot and canceling loads of pre-orders based on that reasoning.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people do the same thing with that Baroness 2-pack, and like she's the main seller of that pack. The twins you could kind of do without, but that Baroness is so awesome that like it kind of makes up for the twins being, the twins.
Is that the red one? The red one?
If they had given the twins suits in that 2-pack,
Yeah.
that would have just been perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they have so many suited bodies they could have plucked from Marvel Legends lines that, or even the couple in the Spider-Man line. It wouldn't have taken that much re-book to do it. They could have done it affordably. But so I passed on that one as well. But hopefully in the next year or two, we'll definitely get the twins released with suits. I think.
And maybe even that Baroness like redone with, like on maybe back as like the original Baroness again, but give us that mold with the different hair and stuff like that, because that was a nice
articulation. That the articulation was great on that red one.
Yeah.
All right, Connor. So this was your best of 2023, or do you change your mind?
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to change my mind 20 times a day because I'm a child. No, the reason I picked this guy, I just had so much fun with this figure. That everything else aside, he's just so photogenic. I think they nailed it with the sculpt on the face, the beard, and the
He's
way
got
it catches the light.
A rock and roll hand too, doesn't he?
He's got the devil fingers as well. So, I just had a lot of fun with this guy, and that was my reason behind picking him for my figure of the year.
You sold me on this too, because I was like, I'm gonna skip rock and roll. I'm gonna skip Copperhead and a couple other ones from this wave that came out. And I watched Connor's review, and I was like, I sent him a message, and I was like, "You son of a bitch! I'm ordering rock and roll and Copperhead."
I'm gonna paint one of my rock and roll heads. The hair, I'm gonna paint it a little bit like reddish, and then when the dragonfly comes in, he's gonna fly the dragonfly.
Oh,
okay.
Sweet.
Okay.
Because Prince Harry.
By the way, just for clarity, he sends me that message every day, regardless.
Yeah. You can use this for a good Venom head too, because Eddie Brock now got like the full beard and hair look. It makes a good Eddie Brock head too.
All right, and then Rick's number one best of 2023 is a gigantic Ahsoka action figure.
Yeah, his fan club, his shrine.
Well, I was thinking about making a video of like my top 5 figures, and I'm looking through stuff, what I get this year, and then I see this sitting over my little shelf there. I'm like, okay, it has to be this, because this is the first toy that I helped, design from scratch.
Yes, it looks awesome.
Although it's a character like I don't have the love for,
he loves her.
This is awesome, man. Like I actually got involved and I made a freaking toy. Like I was involved in making a toy. So it has to be cool, right? That's like reason. So
yeah, that is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So, but runners up, because it's not like what we're all talking about today. All the 6-inch figures. Vern made me this custom hammerhead. This is one of my favorite.
He's only talking about that because I paid him to do so.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite characters, and Vern went out of his way and made this like from scratch in a cave. Like
I was not in a cave.
And I love it so much, and you'll always be appreciated for that, Vern, because no one's ever sent me a custom figure. And then Vern that helped me with his brother picking up the first ever 6-inch, kind of hammerhead figure. And it's
what was that last one?
Like how awesome is the freaking hammerhead? Like,
and now we're getting one more too. We're getting
my prediction in 2024 is we see hammerhead in Black Series, retro Black Series, retro collection, and vintage collection. It's the year of hammerhead, man. That's all I gotta say. And when we do this next year,
hello there.
Pull that clip up again.
Yeah, you'll definitely get the Cantina one, because they already pipelined that, I believe, right?
Well, the pipeline are making Moma and Adon, as they like to call him now, but they didn't pipeline a second Cantina like the one they originally did with Iverson.
Because you were supposed to buy 2.
Prune Face and some other character, and then it's been 8 years now. They haven't made a part 2 to that. I think they will make a part 2 to that, because
maybe.
And it will include a hammerhead and 2 other patrons. Maybe the bartender, Werher, and maybe like a red snaggletooth or something. So it
I
will
think
happen.
I honestly don't think they're gonna touch Black Series stuff like that. I think we're gonna
number
see
one property. Of course, they're going to touch it.
I think you're gonna see them focus on TVC a lot this year. They already kind of showed their hand with a lot of their stuff.
We'll see how that plays out. Because
I get into it, but I think that the 3.75.
they're going to ignore their poll.
It's going to end before.
They did though.
Series
Did you not see them? Like,
Retro.
we're shocked that Black Series won the poll. Like, we thought for sure 3.75 was like, no, that's where all your collectors are, but you guys don't cater to them.
So Dan sent his choices in. His Marvel Legends #1 pick is he said that he was just happy to finally see the Tobey Maguire head in the line. So that's his favorite Marvel Legends. He sent his Black Series. He said this was his best.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I keep hearing that.
I passed on him, but I hear a lot of people in their reviews talk about how much they love this figure.
Oh, it's a really good one. Cool. And part of it is, again, the accessories are like, wow, you know?
Yeah, not necessarily the figures. It's like how they decked them out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they gave him shotgun shells molded onto him and 2 Uzis. So
I'm still hoping for Law and Order, and then like he'll go great with Law and Order.
Law and Order, yeah.
And then John, Snow John, of course, that's why he named himself Snow John. 2023 was Snow Job.
You know, I almost sent you a backup. I was gonna send you, like, if Waze or somebody else picked Snow Job. I was gonna say you can, because Torpedo, quite frankly, Torpedo was like right up there with like, and I almost went with Torpedo, but I thought about it for a minute of going, you know, if somebody else picks Snow Job just to have a different thing in our lineup, I would do Torpedo instead. But
yeah, no, this is
you're not allowed to pick Torpedo as the best figure of the year unless you openly, publicly admit you took him in the bath with you.
Or it didn't happen.
I actually don't have a bathtub. I have a walk-in stand-up shower with the tile and glass doors. So
I'd have
to play with it in the air, like we're going, you know.
No, that is a solid figure, and the eel too, because the eel pretty much is the same figure as Torpedo. Just
I didn't get the eels. I somehow he was sold out before I even got a chance. Yeah,
I was able to pick him up when it came back up, but it didn't have a delivery date, and it just sat in this. You have ordered it, but there's no information for a month, and then finally it was like, you're shipping it. But I will say that when you guys were talking about Torpedo, it made me think about this. I picked this equipment up from Gridiron Studios to deck out my Torpedo, and I think it looks really, really cool the way it kind of changes things up and kind of makes them a little bit more old-fashioned. Yeah. You've even got different fins because I put the Scuba Pros on them, and I think like it looks. I don't know. I just really like the way it looked here. It's going to be more like that.
The diver
tree, I think. Yeah.
That's cool too. Like that's what I like about that diver set is it comes with extra stuff, so you can kind of, if you want to change up Torpedo to give him more of like an old school look like you did, you could do that with that 30th anniversary and still keep that other guy. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
by the way, good choice on Snow Job, Varian. That was a good call.
That's
John.
John.
Yeah. And those eels will be released on the retro card. They're going to be part of that.
I hope that I'll be able to get them then. Yeah.
So Connor, since he was Hasbro exclusive, were you able to get Snow Job?
They don't have exclusives over there.
Yeah,
the whole Joe line is Hasbro exclusive.
At the time, I had to order him from the UK, so had to pay extra shipping, customs charges. I did get him, but he ended up costing me, I think, about €55. Where he was
okay. That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Did you
now you have the opportunity to get him directly through post though, like with going like another figure like that, you could just do directly through post now that you guys have it.
Well, yeah, for now, but we'll see what happens coming.
Did you rip apart an old kit car? Look, what's wrong with
you? So I made a custom 112 Charger out of like one of these really cheap RC cars, and I put the seats and stuff in it. if you ever watch any of my videos, John, I have one on there where I talk about what I did. I made my own engine of vengeance. So I have these little flame pieces that go on the wheels and stuff like that. And there's a whole lighting kit in there to light it up. But the door, I had to cut it to be able to make it open and close. And there's a hinge, and the glue just happened to come off the hinge. So I took advantage of it when I got this Hulk before I glued it back on to have him ripping the door off. That's how I took the picture. But that's my number one for the year. The Gray Hulk, with the new face sculpt is
he's got a cool head sculpt. Yeah.
like
And that's the one that came with the banner, right?
what?
That's the one that came with the banner.
Yeah, this is the two. Hold on,
I was playing with that toy set at Jay's house on Christmas night. We were having dinner, and I haven't got this set yet, so I got to see it up hand. Yeah, the new head sculpt is really nice.
Yeah, so
I would have bought this had it been Green Hulk. Like if it was Green Hulk with the banner, I definitely would have picked it up because it reminded me of that old Toy Biz one where like the banner went inside the back of the Hulk.
That's right. Yeah.
The Gray Hulk is kind of iconic to me because of like the history behind it, right? Like it was
You're a
originally
Hulk fan in general. Like that's your guy. Like you got all the different Hulks.
The cool thing about this figure is this picture, by the way, is that I kind of sneakily, like almost, I think one of the, like, we were talking about Grunt earlier, that Black Widow figure, just because of the two heads and because you can use them on any figure and it fits. I think that was a great figure to have just for doing head swaps and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that really was that like I think we were talking about it maybe last week, or I would love more of those. Like I'll pay the $26.99 or $27, a couple more dollars if they started doing more definitive versions of like Avengers or X-Men, where like you're getting these couple different head sculpts that make the character based on who you want it to be to fit into your collection. You know what I mean? With that Black Widow, like we were saying, you could do classic Black Widow from like the original Avengers. You could do modern, and then you have a Mara Jade head, you have a Scarlet head, you have a CoverGirl head. Like you can have so many uses out of those other parts where it worked out really good.
Scarlet.
So like more of that from Marvel Legends would be awesome. I think like definitive ones where like
more heads, more hands, more stands. We want it all. All.
And I'll pay that couple dollar markup, for that.
Yeah, sure, I agree. Yeah,
that's fine with me. You know what I mean? Like, but I agree that Black Widow
can do more.
Stands too. Like what Hasbro made? What 2 figures that came with a stand? And
they did. Years? Yeah,
looks good on almost any.
Really, I don't need. I could do without stands. I don't stands. But I tell you what, though, I do agree with you, Vern. Those Hasbro flight stands are awesome. I'm gonna order them from now on whenever I do like a Hasbro Pulse order.
I just don't know why Hasbro puts these peg holes in the bottom of all their Star Wars and GI Joe and Power Rangers, and
it's a throwback to the vintage Kenner.
And
they're not meant to do anything because they grow in different sizes.
That those toys,
they're all different sizes. We went over this when John was setting up his toy room. He's like, these figures fit on this stand, this one sometimes on this one.
Actually, I don't know this, but Connor, does the His Tank have pegs for figures?
No
pegs.
It's got ladders.
So, again,
it's got a ladder.
Is there a toy that Hasbro's made with a peg?
No.
On it? They're wasting tooling money. This is just the same plastic then.
Those tiny magnets and sticking the peg them just to a plain washer.
Yeah.
It's just,
wait. There they are.
Oh yeah.
So the NBA players have peg holes.
The Fortnite boat has peg holes on it.
Yeah, I think every toy Hasbro's ever made, history of time, has.
No, but I mean they actually have pegs on the boat. Like so, on the deck of the boat, you have pegs.
The only stand they made, it doesn't have pegs on it. It's got like a shoe hole.
Yeah, loop that nobody's foot fits in.
My foot fits in there.
I'm available, Hasbro. I can fix all your problems.
I'm good without like even the GI Joe stands that come with like the retros. I throw them in a bag and like I don't even use them.
Cool that they come with them though, but Black Series don't, or Classified. Do any of those have stands? Because I think Valorverse
most the retros, right? Yeah, only the retro carded come with
That's
the
one smart thing about the Valaverse toys he makes. The stands for his army men. It's a good idea. It's
Well,
But I don't know
no job.
Do you guys use a lot of stands? Like, because I really don't. I'll use like the flight stands, but not like foot peg stands. The only one I have on a foot peg, honestly, is Mara Jade because she falls over all the time. That's
Yeah,
other than
if they fall over, I'll put a stand on them. But yeah,
yeah.
most of them don't.
Mr. B is saying the speeder bike has pegs. It's true.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
I think even Ray's speeder might have. No,
I don't have that.
They have a purpose, right? It is to attach them to things or stand them on things.
Oh, the
Vintage
GI Joe
toys
motorcycle,
did, right?
has-
Like every vintage
Did
Star
it,
Wars
yeah, that
toy
had pegs.
has
The
freaking pegs sticking
motorcycle
out of
did,
it.
yeah.
Even their collector cases, you turn it upside down, it's got a bunch of pegs on it for your figures to stand on. Like it's
Oh, do you remember when they came out with that Darth Vader and he had that like display thing with like the picture in the background? You could put your first 12.
That's right. Those had
that
stands.
had
pegs.
Yeah, that did. Yeah,
Those are great sets. I think I bought
big-
about 20 of those sets at
That's
one
true.
point because they were. I got
a
them
lot of
for
those
$5,
PBS droids fall over.
and they
They're
came
hard
with
to hold.
Darth Vaders. So I had like 20 Darth Vaders. I still have all those stands, and I made different cardboard backdrops for different things.
Did you in the when they re-released in the 90s, they re-released that early bird set?
I made this. Yeah, this is for the early bird. I made this for the early bird stand that we're talking about. Like I made like 10 different backgrounds.
Did you ever see my video on I have one still sealed in the mailer because it was mailed to George Lucas. I have George Lucas's early bird set, and that the label's still there with his address on it.
That's crazy.
I never even opened it.
Well, okay. How old were you when you got it?
It was in the 90s. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So you were.
It's the re-release one
40.
that they did in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Okay. So how old
is
were
there a
you?
statute of limitation on mail fraud in Florida?
What it is?
know,
No.
right?
What it is one of the guys I knew in Seattle. I got it right when I moved. It was actually not. It was the late 90s when I got it. But it's that set.
Some guy you knew drove over to George Lucas's house, waited by his mailbox, saw the
he
drove off.
I don't know how he did it, but he managed to get a collection. It was right when I moved to Seattle, so it was like it had to be the late 90s when I got this thing. But he managed to get Carrie Fisher's. He's got the one with Carrie Fisher's address on it. He had George Lucas's, he had Mark Hamill's and Peter Mayhew's.
So they never received these. They
took all their houses.
I think what happened is whoever collects them for the celebrities or whatever, like apparently they didn't want them and they sold them as a big lot, and he won the auction and bought the lot, and then as a gift or doing something he was like, you can pick one, and I was like, well, I'd rather have the one that goes to actual George.
They fell off the truck, John. They never arrived to them.
Yeah, who knows, but
we should send George Lucas an email and see, like,
did you really want this?
Poor George Lucas wakes up every morning since the 90s and checks his tracking.
It's supposed to be here. What the hell?
Sneak peek.
So what I'm waiting for is for this Left Coast Graphics company, right? He's got his
that's so
box
cool.
down here.
That's so cool.
When is he gonna do a
Figure out a way for him to stand up?
Left Coast Graphics Lab crowdfund?
You know what it needs, Rick? It just needs a little cardboard thing to stand up behind it that you can pin it to.
Yeah, I'm just engineering the base now because I just got the pins on Friday.
Or a slot, right?
I might include a paper clip with every single order.
There you go. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's
like a little fold out piece that folds like that.
That's exactly what it is.
That's really a cool
the pin
set.
is a lot heavier than I expected it to be.
Show us the back again, the way you got it. Hold on. Okay.
So there's a little fold up paper for both.
Oh, that's nice.
Both figures, but this pin is way heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But the fold up needs to go the other way, right? Like it needs to make it like a T.
Yeah, but there's not enough surface area. I'll engineer it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
I'll figure it out. Yeah.
The engineer
That's
will be
cool though.
It turned out
Chip-
good, man. This vintage one, this unpainted one, you can see
Chip
the-
is like, when did they go on sale, Rick?
on sale right now. Chip, I think Chip might have ordered one.
Left Coast Graphics. Cue the website video.
Oh, let's see. No, that one's too long.
Yeah, you got to short it down. It is long. It is like a minute spot.
I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do one. So the thing is, I've been trying to find the pictures of the pins, right, without like a salt, like, because some of the pins, Rick, on the pictures on your website, they like have a multicolored background or something, so I can't easily remove it from the background.
Yeah, it's smart marketing.
Yeah, but not for like a
Like that's
cartoon,
intentional.
because what I
You know,
wanted to do was
there's a saying out there like copying is a form of flattery and stuff like.
yeah, but I wanted
totally
to do the
disagree. Like
scene
I don't like people copying my shit. It happens.
with Jabba sitting there, and then the two droids coming in, and then the little light beam, and having the little Jedi Luke up there with the greetings exalted one, blah blah blah.
I can send you some
present you a gift,
PNGs.
these two droids, and then I was going to have C-3PO bump into R2-D2, knock him over, shutting off the light, and C-3PO goes, "Must have been showing the wrong video."
Absolutely, man. I'll send you some PNGs, and next year we'll have a fan film awards for I think Vern and Dino have made some commercials. It's the good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I
So
was
now-
watching some GI Joe retro commercials, and I because of what you were talking about a couple weeks ago, I think John and you guys were talking about redoing some of these old commercials.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That yellow helicopter where the blades spin. So I was watching the commercial where the kids in the yard flying it around and stuff, and I'm like, I'm making that commercial.
That was kind of my goal. Like I did make a couple of little commercials with but with computer graphics, just mimicking like a toy commercial and trying to mimic the voice or whatever. But that Junk Man, he's back a couple of years ago. Maybe he remade a couple of Kenner Star Wars commercials with his son at the time, and it was a pretty fun idea, man. I'm surprised we don't see more of that out there.
I think we should do it. Yeah, it would be fun to do.
So now,
Instagram, Vintage Star Wars Club, Gonk Toys, they're also called. They make cases and stuff like that. They did like a photo shoot of them dressed as the old Kenner kids with like the Death Star, and except the one guy's got a big bushy mustache like Mario Brothers, but and turtlenecks. They're just classic looking pictures.
So now, like out of 2024, what is like out of stuff that we know is coming or maybe rumored coming? What would be the thing that you're most looking forward to?
I sent Vern a picture of that also.
Oh, did you?
Hammerhead. I'm looking forward to all the
I didn't make
Hammerheads
that
in
part of the show
2024.
because we need
All right, well, let's go around. Rick, you Hammerheads?
Yeah, because I just think that it's going to happen. It's a necessity. Then
We could probably get the one from Boba too. They could probably just redo Doc for the one for Boba. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just take off the robe he has and paint
And
it.
add the
You guys
voice.
got like a minute. So we're at 2 hours. Go.
If he
Rick,
comes
go ahead.
like the Kenner style, I would like the Hammerhead.
the
But
turquoise
I
onesie,
put down the Dragonfly as a whole with Wild Bill as my most anticipated.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was able to acquire one from somebody who's willing to sell theirs before but when it comes out. So
A
I'm
dragonfly.
in on Dragonfly. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice one.
There's a couple
Yeah,
by the
that was-
pond out back. I could just pick
If I
one up.
had the money, I would have backed it. But I was waiting on the Star Wars one to see what they were going to do, and I knew it was next, so I didn't want to put the money out and then be like beat if it was something I wanted to do for Star Wars. And then
Yeah.
once I saw it was TVC, I was like, well, I just shot myself in the foot with the Dragonfly.
Yeah, but
And I'll
that's
tell
my
you-
biggest criticism of the HasLab thing, that they run the campaign for 6 or 8 weeks, and depending on your financial situation at the time, that's your one chance. You could have,
Yeah.
there could be anything going on in your life that a couple of
Yeah.
months down the line is not there. And
Yeah.
I hate the fact that collectors have the short window to get this dream collection item. And then
They
miss
really
out on-
should. They really should have a payment plan for them. Everyone does it. Sideshow. Everybody
Was it
else has like
Release.
put
Like
X
this.
amount of money down, and then when you have the money, you pay the rest off. You know what I mean?
I missed out on the sale barge for financial reasons. I'd put a bunch of money into going to Celebration and stuff at the time. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
maybe they'll make it again or whatever.
I'm gonna show
And I missed out.
John your payment plan that everyone has.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
No, see,
But
would
not
be
everybody does, Vern, because I live off 0 credit. I don't have any credit cards.
I don't do credit
Well,
cards.
I do nothing.
Your name's not even John.
But I wouldn't be opposed to what Eric said, where like after a window you do the reissue, like what they did a couple weeks ago, where they put stuff up, but it was only 2 or 3 of each item. Like
I know, yeah, and I missed it because I would have wanted to get I would have grabbed a Unicron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
that was
even
for
know-
stuff in the warehouse.
I would-
They didn't-
I
they
would
didn't make
Come
find
that.
in
that.
and go out so fast. I was like, well,
yeah,
I'm interested.
Yeah.
The only
If
thing that was
they did
interesting
that,
is
though,
the
like,
icebreaker
would that
thinking,
upset you guys?
wait, what?
If they did that, would that upset you guys? Like, say, 2 years after the His Tank came out, they
No.
reissued it on HasLab
No.
and said, "Hey,
no,
for
because
this
I
limited
hold
time,
on.
you guys can rebuy this."
hold on. If they did a whole separate production run just so they could sell them, that would to me be questionable. But I understand why they
I
had
don't
like
think
back
so.
stock. So
Yeah,
what
I
they
don't-
do is like say the 30,000 people ordered them, they probably ordered 31,000 of them to be produced in case people's boxes got damaged or the item got damaged or something
Broken.
happened and they replace them. They can't sit on that stock forever because they need that warehouse space. It's expensive.
Yeah.
So I
But
get it.
If
like,
they did it like
whatever.
Eric's idea was good about doing like an open order, like, "Hey, we're gonna
long
put this
as, like,
lab back up,
it's
and if you
up
guys
front.
want it, it's yeah."
Yeah, if they were
think the
upfront
only
about
people
it
that would
and
be
they
pissed
never
off-
say this is your chance, blah blah blah, and then like a year later come back and say, oh, and here's your second chance because we're gonna
Like they did with Serpentor and Mindbender. Yeah.
I think the only people that would piss off are the people that paid more than what it's worth on a secondary
On the
market
secondary
value,
no,
like
no,
a year later,
I
and that
agree with you, Rick, because
no one else would be pissed off except those people.
I might be
Or
Why?
resellers.
Do you have one?
I don't want you to have it.
Do you have one?
Connor, what you looking forward to for
Tino will put
2024?
his in his will for me, and
If
then
you
I'll
weren't-
die first.
if you weren't there to get it the first time, you're out of luck.
It was tough, man. That was a tough $500 US. Remember, that's all US dollar dues, right? That's double in
Anyway.
Canada.
Anyways, we did hit
Even,
the 2
even
hours.
even if they were to do a second campaign where it doesn't have to reach a goal, they've already tooled it. they've
Yeah,
already-
just like an open order.
just an open order for say, and let people know in 6 months we're going to open it up for a few
I
weeks.
think I honestly think I would be okay with that. If
If they
it
did it
was
like the
like say
Boba,
with the His Tank,
Boba
right?
thing.
Like they said, hey, we're going to reproduce this, but we're not going to add in all the extra figures and stuff like that. It's basically just
Yeah, that too. Yeah, just through the vehicle, that would be all right. Yeah, why not?
I
Yeah,
think
I'd be
part of
fine with
the crowdfunding thing that they're doing is they're shooting themselves in the foot in a way that they're not able to say produce this again and
Yep.
make another $8 billion. Like
yeah,
it's,
it should.
you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Like
Because I think everyone saw that Hiss when that Hiss came out and everybody started getting it in hand. Like it even made me like, I kind of want a Hiss
like
tank.
Valaverse.
it did
Like, you know,
Yeah.
people
before,
have different opinions about his company. He's making a vehicle now. It's not a crowd-funded vehicle, right?
It's
But
going to just be
you're able to
pre-order.
pre-order it.
You're going to be able to get it. You're just going to be able to buy
So
it.
he's not. If he sells, let's say, if he sells 5,000 of them, he's making a lot more than 5,000 of them to sell over the years.
yeah,
because
yeah.
Look, that ramen racer.
the business.
That ramen racer has sold like 1,800 parts. I'm pretty sure that thing's kind of bought and paid for. He said he was going to throw in extras if it got to 2,000, so they're super close to that. So it seems to me they've made money off of that thing already at 1,800 units, right?
It's
So
cool to see video
Imagine
updates
18,000 units.
factory of,
Yeah.
punching those cards out of the steel molds. It looks pretty cool to see. You
Yeah.
don't see a lot of that stuff.
yeah, I think that like I really liked your videos when you were like doing the card backs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Those
it's interesting
videos.
stuff, eh?
But like if you could get video of the production of the pins or whatever, that type of stuff, like the mock-up, that would be super cool. But then you'd probably have to travel
Well,
to China to get that video.
I do get pictures and videos. Like I asked for it, like when they're producing these, because I want to see what they look like before they
right.
make more than one of them. If there's a mistake or they paint it, a pink stormtrooper when I don't want it pink. But I don't post a lot of those videos because originally last year my goal was to put those for like channel subscribers, like just some.
Oh yeah, I get it.
But since I have negative view hours on YouTube, it's probably something I could never get. No, again, I lost another 300.
Listen, analytics
uploading a video. It's ridiculous.
Analytics are crazy because like I used to do really well in the short videos, and like lately, like they're just not catching on as well. Until they started doing those ones.
I don't watch anybody's shorts.
Yeah, until I started doing the ones where I was like making fun of like TV shows or whatever, trying to point out that like the funny thing that happened in the show that I thought was odd, like it's just filming error or whatever. Yeah. And those ones catch on, and then everybody, oh, why are you being so picky? Well, you're watching, that's why.
It's easy, it's fun, and it's good practice, for making videos or editing it.
I don't have that shorted. Like, I'd much rather watch a 2-hour video than a 2-second video.
And I think
you should watch every episode of the Ahsoka After Show, even the 4 episodes.
No, I won't even know.
Yeah, for me, I'd rather something longer. Like, my attention span's the opposite from everybody else's. I'd rather sit and watch something than 2 seconds and I'm on to the next thing. Like, it's just, I don't retain that stuff. It's just. But Connor, what was your 2024 thing that you're looking forward to?
I don't know. I'm just shocked you've never seen my shorts, Maze, if I'm being honest with you.
The difference between, I love all content, long form, short form. The shorts, though, whether it's Instagram Reels or TikToks or
well, that's what I see it on Reels.
Dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and they're all stupid addictive.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were catered for kids, all these TikToks but now it's like girls are like, oh, look, this piece of stick's 14 inches long. And I go, whoa. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this? I see this on every platform now. YouTube. And I'm like, it's just all adult.
So what's your 2024 pick, Connor?
I'm thrilled they're doing Airborne. He was one of my favorite Action Force figures growing up. Absolutely loved the character, the guy, the look of him. And to get him in classified form, I'm delighted. So I've already won 2024 without having to make a wish list or do anything.
You got me to pre-order him too, by the way. I did.
2025 in Ireland.
All right, so we went way over our 2 hours. We're gonna have to.
What's yours? You got it.
I already said what it was. You weren't listening, so you lose.
I don't know what you said because we started with Rick, so I didn't hear what you said. Yeah,
it's like a Haslam. You get one chance.
Mine would be the Vamp. I'm looking forward to the Vamp. The Vamp is going to be awesome.
So
think so.
I started the Toy Duo on January 14th. That was the first episode. It originally was me and Sean from Sean Solo 8. He changed his work schedule, so he was no longer able to do the Saturdays. You guys started like coming on regularly with me and stuff like that. And I just want to say I really appreciate you guys coming in every week and hanging out. I completely believe that this show is a collaboration. And I really appreciate all the time that we get to spend together every week, talking about action figures and movies and TV shows, and agreeing and disagreeing is probably one of my favorite parts.
It's honestly hang out too, just to be, like we all live in different parts of the world, different parts of the country. So like, it's nice to even just come on and like, you could not broadcast this. It could just be us in the green room hanging out and talking for 2 hours.
Yeah. Not like literally one person watching, but anyways.
No, you know what I mean, though. That's how a lot of it could be sometimes, because it is fun just to be able to see you guys and talk and hang out. Like we're just hanging out. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah,
because this is the thing. That's the thing. If we did live near each other, we'd all be at the pub talking about this.
Maybe.
Yeah. You know what I mean? We would.
Comic shop or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it would be. Yeah.
On that, Connor, which action figure do you bring to the pub in Ireland?
I bring them all, Rick. They're all like
big bags.
He's standing there on the. He's up in the bar tackling it.
Speaking of Ireland, just wrapping up the end of the year show, being there. We've a word in Irish in Gaeilge that actually has no English translation, and that's aduntas. And there's no English translation for it because it's a word to describe a feeling. And it's if you suffer from aduntas, you have a sense of strange loneliness or isolation or abandonment, or it's to describe a feeling of being isolated or strange. And I have to say, that's what this hobby was like for a long time. And then since I met you guys, and doing streams like this or hanging out on social media or commenting and everything else, that word does not come into my vocabulary anymore, because you guys fill a huge space. The people in the chat, the people in the streams, the people making content. It's been a great year. It's been another great year getting to know everybody, meeting new people, and then sitting here and talking with old friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Awesome. Well
It's
said,
definitely,
well said.
and I always say to people, like when we talk about this stuff, it's the community that really makes it. Like, who would think action figures could bring all of us, like from Ireland, from England, from Canada, from all over the place,
right?
together? And it's cool, man. It really is. And like, I talk to you guys more than I talk to people that I know in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I talk to you guys pretty much every day, all day.
I just see this place
You're
walking
possibly
into the what's the coffee place? The 7-Eleven store?
Wow.
He goes into the Wawa. The guy's in there go, "Hey, how's it going today?" And he's like, "Arr, arr, arr."
Yeah. That's what it is, because I'm talking to you guys in the chat or I'm doing whatever. But no, seriously, like, some of you guys have become better friends than people that I've known for years in real life. So it's different. It's cool. It's good to know. And I tried to send everybody little messages during Christmas time just to let everybody know, how much I appreciate it. So it was nice.
I agree.
Well,
You're all
I-
appreciated, man. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
being here every Saturday.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really appreciate it too. I mean, I love the community. Everybody who shows up and watches us, like, talk over each other, argue with each other, disagree, get along, agree, whatever.
Kurt.
You know what I mean? It does make a really nice end to every week. So thanks for that.
Yeah.
So
And I want to apologize for going off today. It just so happened I'm buying a GI Joe collection.
don't worry, we talked about you while you were gone.
Talked about it.
and-
Said it.
like-
Yeah, we're making here wheeling and dealing with Dino.
You know what happened?
getting,
Tina goes, I like to call and interrupt this live stream. John, get off the
It
camera.
just-
You
it
can
just-
be a part of the whole plan.
Yeah, they just happened. He went to the store and got Valerie on the phone with me, but I'm buying 6 box vehicles and over 50. It's like 52 figures complete.
Wow.
And
That's awesome.
so I bought a
I just wanna
giant GI Joe
confirm,
collection.
Is Dino making 10% commission or is it
Yeah.
20%?
I don't know what kind of deal he has with
Dino's
those people,
manager.
but yeah.
Did you guys, did you talk
That's
about
cool. That's
Monarch
very
at
cool.
all, Fern, today?
I'm sorry?
Monarch? Did you bring up Monarch?
No. We
I
don't have
just
time.
watched that last episode.
It's not
You don't
over
have-
yet, right? There's
You're the
still
only one who's got to go anywhere.
All right. Anyways,
There
I
was a
wish you guys
giant
New
bug.
Year.
There was a giant bug
We
in
can
this
hang out
episode.
here for hours. Vern's the one who's got to go.
Right.
Guys, next year.
Well,
Stay
Happy
awesome,
New-
everybody.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Toys, 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 toys,
manly toys,
toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys, toys.